And we're live.
Wow.
There we go.
We are live. Hi, Brian. Look at us in our matching Hawaiian shirts, which we didn't coordinate.
Nope, we are. I believe the name of the shade, the Pantone name, is Cline Orange.
Indeed, yes. I do not own an orange Hawaiian shirt like you do, but I was able to do my makeup in homage to the great writer of our time.
Get real close to the camera so we can admire your eye work there. There it is. Look at that.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That was really helpful. That was full makeup YouTuber. That was just like pitch perfect. I feel like I should be up here, but I think the book has sucked.
Well, I can suck the life out of you.
I think it has.
Should I drop down?
That's what happens when you have real gamer posture.
No, I'm not gonna let some Gen Z upstart make me slouch.
Don't catch him slouching, anybody. All right, are we gonna start this thing?
Well, do you want to introduce the stream, the show?
I don't know at what point the stream begins or the stream ends and the episode begins.
No, that's a good point. Well, first of all, thank you everybody for joining us. We have 30-ish
That's
people
nice.
here today. That's great. We're trying to do one of these a month, and I think we've been holding that. We've done 3 months of these, so I'm glad everybody's joining us on a lovely Sunday afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. Look at this. What is that?
It's the exact same thing I was drinking for it's nasty cut water Mai Tai, if that's any indication of how much I drink, that I had bought a 4-pack of them several months ago. Here we go, baby.
Yes, you've got a real problem with your cut water.
Yeah, that water's getting cut.
Addiction.
Hope everyone is doing great. Has anybody read Ready Player One?
Yeah, sound off, chat. Smash that like button. Yeah.
Brian, have you seen the movie? Question mark.
I did. In fact, I went to see it in the theaters because I am a glutton for punishment. And it was one of those things where I had nothing better to do. It's like a Spielberg thing, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll go see it." And then I think I got at it, and I was like, "Is that as bad as I thought it was?" And I saw it again, and I realized, yes, it was as bad as I thought it was. Now we're going to get into this, but I was actually debating. So for the first time, since we've been doing these, you and I both finished the book, not today, not the day of the discussion, but in fact, yes. So I was debating watching the movie last night, but when I couldn't find it for free on a thing I was already paying for, I was like, I'm not fucking.
I was similarly considering watching it, but after having spent my entire fucking Saturday reading the book, I was like, nope, I am not going to do that.
Have you ever seen it?
No, I've seen the very loving The Shining scene out of context. And so going into the book, I was like, oh boy, will I get to see that?
That is the one good scene in the movie. Honestly, that Shining scene I thought was like that. I was awestruck at how great that Shining thing was. The rest of the movie does not come close to being that cool.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Except for there's a really nice Mark Rylance performance in it as Halliday. And Mark Rylance is amazing, but unfortunately the rest of the movie is not quite as cool. It doesn't have the coherence and majesty of the
I'm very interested in how the movie and book diverge.
Honestly, they are very, very different in terms of the egg hunt. Like most of the details.
Say that again?
Like in terms of the gun. Now, I really want to discuss my gunt on this particular.
No one's
episode
ever shutting up about the gunt around here. It's time we really.
No, everyone's got their own relationship with their gunt, and as does Wade, as does Artemis, as does H, all of them. Yeah. So, well, I'd love to hear your take on Leighton. How was your gunt?
My gunt's suffering, bro. Uh, First of all, I guess the episode has begun. Welcome to Late Night with Brian Recht, written by Ernest Cline.
AKA Gunter HQ.
And what's your name?
My name, what's my avatar's name, or what's my name?
What's your name?
My name is Brian.
Wow.
Recht.
And here we are for another episode of Bad Book Club, which is a sub-episode type. Our third one. We've read Angels and Demons, Breaking Dawn, and now...
Wait, hold on. This has been on my fucking desk since we read it. And then I started reading them electronically as per your advice, and it's way better than putting a bunch of crazy
especially when you can just highlight stuff and then export your highlighted notes. So this is number 3, and I'd like to say that I really pushed hard for this one. I regret that. I had never before read Ready Player One because I was pretty sure of what my feelings would be.
Oh, for some reason, I thought you had.
Never. For the exact reasons that my day yesterday was so shitty.
I had. Because I am a proud Gen Xer. So I felt like I kind of had to. And I had friends who raved about it. So I was like, well, I got to read this book.
Well, the pages of this book are naturally stiff and sticky from thousands of Gen Xers coming all over it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Leighton, what's your opinion of Gen X? How would you categorize us? By us, I mean Xers.
Let's see. Unserious, boorish, prone to extending bits long past the point where they're funny. This is of all Gen Xers. I'm not being specific. Bad taste in shit that sucks.
Appropriate.
I think that is a summary of that.
Well, it's not that we have bad taste. It's just that reality bites. Gen X reference. Anybody? Get ready for lots of those.
Lots of gamer references that only geeks and gamers in the know will understand.
Yes, indeed. Well, where do you want to start? Maybe how about, as a Gen Xer, of course, I love other people's voices. So please, why don't you regale us with? Should we do some overall? We have no structure.
We don't.
To these
we just
book
go
clubs
through
ever.
it.
Maybe we should. I don't know. What did you think of this book? I'm so tempted to read you right now.
Women's Corner. Women's Corner.
Yeah. Thumbs down. Elaborate. Overall thoughts.
In considering the other books that we've read for the Bad Book Club, Breaking Dawn was the hardest experience for me. I mean, that one was real teeth pulling. Eventually, somewhere in the third act, getting to the point where I was just skimming, trying to get to the end. Ready Player One comes in incredibly close second for me. I mean, I found this book insufferable. I was angry the entire time I was reading it. I got so angry that at a certain point I took a break and I went and I read the entirety of The Metamorphosis of Prime Intellect, which is a completely separate novella. It's the superior cyberspace story, and then angrily came back and finished Ready Player One and was really angry that I was back reading that instead of Metamorphosis of Prime Intellect. And let me be clear, when I say superior cyberspace story, much like Ready Player One, Metamorphosis of Prime Intellect is also display of authors' barely disguised fetishes. And yet, it's compelling, and I love it, and I reread it often. It does interesting things with themes and characters, which Ready Player One does not do. I think Ready Player One is emblematic of a horrible strain of 2010s geekery. Like it feels like an egregore of this gamer self-importance, and how the pinnacle of like having the opportunity of oh man, my knowledge of obscure video games is going to win me the girl and make me rich, and everyone's going to clap when I say things because I'm so smart and I know all of the entire dialogue to Monty Python and the Holy Grail. This book manages to make shit that I like insufferable. So yeah, that's a top level.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
Yeah, I was waiting for that. Great. Thank you for asking. So I for me, this is, of the books we've read, by far the one I had the easiest time reading. I would not call it a good book. Definitely not. But for me, this was fast and it was pretty fun. I don't actually disagree with anything you said, but to me, here's the difference between this and Angels and Demons. Angels and Demons also made me upset because I knew he was getting basic shit wrong that he should have fucking checked. Oh. I don't think that's the case here. Like here, well, it's hard to get things wrong when you're just like listing things. So
yeah, this book is basically a BuzzFeed listicle.
It kind of, yeah. But that said, here's the thing about this book, as I texted you, it is like fucking laser targeted at a person of my demographic. Like, so many of these things are exactly the shit I grew up with. And for someone who's maybe 5 years older than me, it's like dead on. But for me, it's like 95% on. I was born in 1975. My first gaming system was an Atari 2600, which I got, roughly when it came out. Space Invade, like all that shit. Boom, right the fuck there. Zork. I was obsessed with Zork as a kid. All the Infocom text adventure games were like my thing. So the fact that there's a Zork thing, even though it's silly and glib, is like, oh, that's cool. There is a thing. I mean, one thing that's nice to see in this book is like, it pleases me to see pretty niche 80s gamer shit be massively popular, even if it's through the guise of this book. Sure. Like Zork was big at the time. I doubt, I don't know what the cultural reach of Zork is anymore, but to see a main portion of this book be inside the game Zork, to me, that's pretty fucking cool, even if it's poorly written and kind of stupid.
It's like when a dog sees another dog on TV.
Yeah, but this dog is like a gaming dog, and is also just kind of Gen X.
See, I texted that same thing to you yesterday, and your response over text was a lot funnier.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to repeat myself because I would never want to overextend a bit. Yeah, so I agree with you. This is a poorly written book. It has zero development in character whatsoever, and the characters pretty much all suck. They're all facades.
They are all Ernest Cline.
But I had a good time reading it, and I thought it was fun. And I would read this. I would pick this over Angels and Demons any day of the week, hands down. No contest for me.
I think, and I'm really trying to not let nostalgia cloud my view of Angels and Demons, which is entirely what Ernest Cline's MO was here, is to uncritically just fucking self-suck himself into nostalgic bliss. But Angels and Demons at least pretends to be for adults. Like, Dan Brown gets everything wrong. Langdon is insufferable. It's like the erudition porn, as is like pretty much explicitly called out in Angels and Demons. But at least it's like, aha, a story with like some themes, even if they suck. And this book just so Ready Player One just revels in being juvenile, never developing, and everything that you loved as a kid is actually better than the shitty real world, in fact.
I totally agree. A big difference, Angels and Demons at least has something going on below the surface. This book has nothing going on below the surface whatsoever. Yeah. Like, it is purely the
other
text on the
than Ernest Cline's hand down his shorts.
Yeah, absolutely. As I texted you, I hope he realizes that he the fact that the main theme of the book is a Gen X dude ramming his favorite pop culture down other people's throats. Like, that's the whole thing of the book. I hope he realizes that is exactly what he is doing with this book. And I'm not going to opine on whether he does or not, but I think that's very funny that the whole MacGuffin of this book is some guy who's like, you better like my shit or you're dumb or you won't be a multi-billionaire. Well,
and even the narrative
exactly
backs up. It's good and important. It's not useless that I love all this shit and I'm going to subject you to it. Right. It actually makes you the most specialist boy in the universe if you know all of the words to the massively popular movie Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Bitch, I fucking love that movie. I was obsessed with that movie as a kid. Are you kidding me? Part of the climax, spoilers for Ready Player One. Part of the climax is, he's going to go through the entire movie. And this is after earlier in the book where we've always shot our load early with, it's war games, but he's playing as the main character in this like video game movie simulation. And he loses points if he doesn't say the dialogue perfectly. And he gets extra points if he says it with the proper accent and inflection. We bring that back for the penultimate task, and it's Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I never want to watch that movie again. It should escalate, this.
And it doesn't. Yeah. It is extremely dumb how every single challenge this protagonist is exactly right for at the time. He can play the perfect game of Pac-Man, right?
He's good at everything.
He can beat the Lich King at Joust.
And he's so good at Joust that he beat his best friend so bad that he won't even play with him anymore. And then everyone clapped.
Yeah. Yes. Like it is very annoying and dumb. I mean, it's the worst version of a Chosen One type narrative where this person just happens to be the exact right thing for everything. Very sad. And
this is getting very far ahead, but there's the point when they get to the crystal gate and they're about to go through, and then the chapter ends with we're about to step through the gate, and then all of us died,
and then everybody died.
And I got so excited for one page, Brian, because I was like, all right, if this guy swings and the actual prize at the end of this test was that it deletes Oasis, I will respect the shit out of this, and I love it, actually. And to be fair, that's Metamorphosis of Prime Intellect brain going there, because that is essentially what that story does. No, he played a perfect game of Pac-Man, remember? So he got an extra life, and it's fine.
Well, although he might delete the Oasis, I think that's left a little ambiguous at the end.
I don't think it is, especially because there's a fucking sequel that takes place in the Oasis.
Well, yeah, that came out later, but I think he's given the power to delete the Oasis, right? Yes,
but that means nothing.
I agree with that.
That means nothing. Halliday is like, hey, remember that in the real world, the real world is the only one where you can be really happy. That falls completely fucking flat after this entire book.
Yes, because it's totally untrue.
Yeah, it's like, he gets to hold hands.
I was going to say
that's going to change his entire
dick. Before I forget, it reminds me of I have to find this. I used to have this book. It's called like the Big Book of American Humor or something. It was like an anthology book, big yellow book. And it had a really funny piece called like Tips for Writers or something. And one of the tips was, if you don't know how to end your book, just go with, and then everybody got run over by a truck. Now, this falls flat if you're writing a story about trucks, in which case you need to have everybody get run over by a monster truck. And there's a bunch of other fun. Oh, and also, and never forget in your back pocket is always, and then they woke up. It was all a dream. It's very, very, very funny. Yes. So anyway, and everyone died. Again, the book ain't smart. The book is a collection of references. And one thing, so just being of the age and inclination that I am, I probably picked up on the references that weren't called out a bit more than you did. And there are a lot of them, like a lot. Some of them are obvious. Some of them are less so. And I doubt I picked up on all of them. But he actually throws in a lot of... Okay, so one stupid one is that Nolan Sorrento, first of all, Nolan, like Nolan Bushnell, founder of Atari, Nolan Sorrento's prisoner, or not prisoner number, IOI number is 655321, right? Which is from A Clockwork Orange. 655321 is, I believe, Alex's prisoner number. Stuff like this. He writes this down. He doesn't say it. What else? I highlighted a few.
That blows.
Of these.
That makes me hate him more.
Well, what I found interesting is that the references are not. There were some that felt to me out of Gen X. Like if he had landed squarely in Gen X as just a thing, maybe that's a little better. But he really was kind of all over the map in a way I thought felt incoherent at times. Let's see. Can I find? Oh, well, I could go through all these. Maybe we should just go through our notes here. I'm trying to find one.
We should do that. But
here. Oh, Joe's Garage. He mentions Joe's Garage at one point, which is a Zappa album. Actually, a pretty good Zappa album.
Wow, fucking cool, man.
Mentions Crom, which is, I think, from Conan. Stuff like this. There's a lot of, like, just throwaway references, which
so
are
you're saying
references
that
to
if
other
you're
things.
just like Wade Watts and you can pick up on these implicit references to things from the 80s, you'll get a deeper experience and really solve the puzzle of this shit fucking book.
Well, see, this is what I was... If he had been really good, there would have been an actual puzzle in the book itself, right? So the problem... This book has the same problem that nearly every book, including Angels and Demons, with a puzzle in it has, which is the puzzles fucking suck. And they're dumb. The only way to solve the Halliday puzzle is like... First of all, completely implausible that nobody solved it for however many years.
Yeah.
And then two people solve it at the same time does not pass the sniff test independently, right? Artemis and Parsifal find the Tomb of Horrors at essentially the same time after nobody's come close for
5 years. It was 5
tens of
years, right?
Or it was 5 years? No fucking way. Like that strains the bounds of credulity more than most things in this book for me. Yeah, so like that by itself is silly. Then they justify why like everybody's solving it at once because it gets out and blah 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 blah. Like he at least sort of then says that. But come on, both at the same time within days of each other.
And it's also this is the kind of thing that I don't normally like to nitpick, but I hated this shit, so I'm going to. Wade is 17? Question mark.
Oh really? I forgot that. Oh yeah, I guess he's in high school,
Halliday
sure. Yeah.
had died 5 years prior, so that would have made him 12 when Halliday died and the hunt started. I didn't bother writing down the number of episodes, movies, songs, video games that he had played in 5 years. Okay, sure. You're watching all of Family Ties every fucking day. You're also going to school.
Yep, and dealing with your
sure.
aunt and everything like that. Yeah. No, definitely the timing there is... That's interesting. I missed the 5 years thing. I thought it had been like 10 or 20 years.
I don't think so.
But yeah.
I could also be wrong because I don't care.
I didn't clock this. But yes, that's a silly thing. You need like...
Especially for him to know the words for multiple movies that he's like, I've watched this War Games 50 times. Because that's a virtue and makes me really cool.
Yes.
We might as well, on the first page, the first thing, I'm curious what the first thing you highlighted in the book was.
I highlighted terrible exposition. Oasis, a massively multiplayer online game that had gradually evolved into the globally networked virtual reality most of humanity now used on a daily basis. Because, here's the thing. This is something, who was it? It was maybe Harlan Ellison pointed out about Cloverfield. It's like, who is this being written for? Who is the audience of this? He's writing his memory or something. He mentions it. This is like a book he is writing for whatever thing in the future, right? In his own future. Who's reading this? You're defining the Oasis? Everyone knows what the fucking Oasis is, bro. Like, it's completely incoherent in terms of who he is writing for.
You don't want him to spend like 50 pages explaining the basics of what a virtual reality world would be like, as if we don't already know from the first page that it's virtual reality. Do you need to know how he walks
so
through
this,
the hallways of his school on the school planet where he goes to school and then he gets bullied in the hallway, which
yeah.
is
Oh,
still in virtual? Or my first highlight was the paragraph after that one. At first, I couldn't understand why the media was making such a big deal of the billionaire's death. After all, the people of planet Earth had other concerns: the ongoing energy crisis, catastrophic climate
yes,
change,
this was dumb.
widespread famine, poverty, and disease, half a dozen wars, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
I highlighted this too. What's that a reference to,
What a
Leighton? What's that
clever
from?
little reference.
What's it? But do you get it? I don't think you
Makes
get
me
it.
feel good, bro.
Well, me too, but I can't. I'm on a stream right now.
That clearly didn't stop Wade Watts.
Yeah, no. Oh, well, we're going to get to that because that is indisputably the worst part of the book. Yeah. Exactly.
So
that terrible, like, 11-year-old style dystopia for sure.
The writing of this.
Yeah, who's he writing this for? It
reminds me, like, and I had this feeling, and maybe part of this is that I read the entire book in this voice that fits what I'm about to say, is that it feels like a fourth grader's creative writing project. It's like, and then I got my big swords and I got on a dinosaur and I ran super fast and everybody thought that I was the coolest guy in school. And my girlfriend who lives in Canada was there too. And my uncle works at Nintendo. That's how the entire book feels.
That's a good voice. I like that voice.
Thank you. You'll be hearing it more later.
Yes, I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Or
you know what else I liked? A passing. Is that where is this? Is this on the same page? Maybe it's later. How do I fucking get back and forth? I don't know. There's a passing or another major city vanishing in a mushroom cloud. It's like, wait, there's been nuclear. We done did a nuclear war. Is that? Am I reading that right?
We did a heckin' thing.
Yeah.
There's like a terminal lack of empathy on the part of the characters in this book in a way that is like not
no, that's 100% right. They're not characters.
And we'll get there, but the completely nonplussed reaction to this trailer's getting blown up. It's like, wow.
Yeah, he's just moving on. Back in the Oasis. My aunt, whatever, this lady that I went on my way
this
to.
Harpy in a house coat. Hold on, I have to find this line and how he describes his aunt. Oh, fuck. There's so much good stuff in here. Grinning maniacally. This is describing Halliday's tape. Grinning maniacally, he spins in rapid circles, swinging his arms and head in time with the song, flawlessly cycling through several signature 80s dance moves. But Halliday has no dance partner. He is, as the saying goes, dancing with himself.
Yeah, as the saying goes.
Also, we need to get this out of the way really quickly. The hunt to find the Easter egg that will bestow upon the gamer who finds it billions of dollars in ownership of Oasis. The MacGuffin is an Easter egg. And at first, this is me reading the book. At first, these individuals were known simply as egg hunters, but this was quickly truncated to the nickname Gunters. Hey, Ernest, buddy, do you want to come up with another one? Do you want to come up with literally anything else?
Well, here's my question about that. Definitely it's supposed to be Gunters. However, Gunter is an actual name.
Ernest Cline is not on that level.
Think Gunter, right? Like, it's just a bunch of German guys.
No, I'm reading it and I'm like, yep, all the Gunters are going against the Sixers, a.k.a. the Sucksors, because they sucked.
The Sucksors.
That's a direct quote. That's a fucking direct quote. Yes. So yeah, Gunters, gunting everywhere, a real game.
Oh, so much gunting. Yeah, there's
game
a lot
you
of
next
gunting.
Tuesdays.
Gunt you.
Serving gunt. Oh man, I wish we could.
Well, that's very good. That's very good, Leighton.
Serving gunt.
We might be able to. I think we should.
Yeah. But yeah, you couldn't you didn't have to make the MacGuffin called an Easter egg. You can name it something else and then not make the word that you're going to use like 400 times. Actually, I want to know because I can search on my Kindle. Well, I'm going to search for the word.
See, I think this is interesting because to me that smacks of he's like, when is this book from? What year?
2011
It's
or 2010.
more. Yeah, I was going to say 15-ish years old. When this was written, was Easter egg that, I mean, it wasn't as known as it is now, right? So I think maybe the Easter egg thing read a little more niche and less stupid than it does currently, when everybody knows what that is.
I will give this book some credit for when this came out. This was very zeitgeisty, because I can think of a bunch of things that came out around that time in a similar vein that now feel so horrendously dated. And it's like, this is where internet humor was at the time. Like, if you were a gamer, geek, Gen X person or younger getting the trickle down on the internet, like, yeah, quoting Monty Python and the Holy Grail was like the coolest shit you could do on a forum post.
Although if this is 2010,
it was a little played out. Like, but in terms of a mainstream sense,
I mean, more
for
than
it to have gotten to the mainstream, I mean, like, yeah, it was old by then already. But
I mean, I would say the quoting Python shit was old in the late 90s, you know,
sure.
Like maybe even before then. Yeah.
Do you want to guess how many times the word Gunter is used in this book?
Oh,
chat. This goes for you as well.
I'm going to say 200.
Lower.
1.
You got it, actually.
100.
Higher.
150.
Higher.
100. Just tell me the answer. I'm not going to.
It's 188. You were close with 200.
Okay, well, come on. I basically got it.
Hey, that's not going to fly in James Halliday's puzzle world. This is the thing that I was thinking of when I was reading it. I was thinking of your thoughts on puzzles in books, of like either them being astronomically stupid or just unsolvable. And I love, no one can figure out the limerick where a Tomb of Horrors is referenced. You know,
right,
one of the
years.
most popular Dungeons and Dragons. I know that. I don't know shit about Dungeons and Dragons. That's like one of the most popular things. That's one of the ones. Nobody figured that out. None of us figured that out over the whole planet.
Absolutely dumb. Yes, 100%. The puzzle. I hated the puzzles.
Because they're not
book.
puzzles. It's like solve a bad wordplay and then go play a cabinet, but you have to play it perfectly.
That's right. And okay, so here's the thing, and we have talked about this, but when you write a puzzle, part of good puzzle design, and by the way, this puzzle is written by the best video game designer of all time, right? The master, the guy who has written the greatest video games ever. And he's written an unbelievably shitty puzzle, which also, by the way, once you solve it, makes you in charge of the universe and a multi-billionaire. The central idea of that is phenomenally stupid because, first of all, this guy, Halliday, is also kind of disillusioned with the real world, right? He's like just in his, lair doing
in goblin mode.
Yeah, definitely Gunter mode. These goblin Gunters. Everyone loves goblin, a good Gunter. I give people pointers on that, actually. How would this guy, he comes up with this thing. The first person to solve it gets the universe. How does he immediately not see that this could be phenomenally abused? He's just going to leave control of the most important thing in his life to someone that fucking solves it, some rando,
to the most
and not, by the way, his best friend who's still alive and like he just talked to.
But you can't, because the dead wife.
Yeah.
Part of that.
Oh yeah, Kira, named after a character from the Dark Crystal.
Well, it's that movie that I like and liked when I was a kid. It's so fucking cool that he said the name from a movie that we all liked. I'm going to strangle Ernest Cline. Yeah. That's not really actionable because I'm saying that I would do it in the virtual world. I would do it in the virtual world only, but in there I am strangling him and serving gun.
I liked how it was presented as a like the answer to a puzzle, that the reason they had a falling out was because of this woman. It's like, it's the only thing you know about them. I mean, And also it's set up to pay off later, like many things in this book. It's ridiculously set up in the beginning to be like, okay, that's going to go somewhere. Yeah.
Let's see.
What else did you highlight? Go through some other highlights.
Chapter 1, page 13. Gunfire wasn't uncommon in the stacks, but it still shook me up. I knew I probably wouldn't be able to fall back asleep, so I decided to kill the remaining hours until dawn by brushing up on a few coin-op classics. Galaga, Defender, Asteroids. These games were outdated digital dinosaurs that had become museum pieces long before I was born. But I was a gunter, so I didn't think of them as quaint, low-res antiques. To me, they were hallowed artifacts, pillars of the pantheon. When I played the classics, I did so with a determined sort of reverence.
So I thought you were talking as
no,
yourself.
Sorry
for
find
a second.
Yeah. That Ernest Cline said.
Well, and here's the crazy part, too, is that even when this was written in 2010, nobody fucking thinks that. Like, you can be like, oh, those were some cool old games, but even the most Gen X-y of Gen Xers is not going to have that opinion, even then.
We're off to such a terrible start with this book. I mean, I wanted to go into it. As always, I try to be generous with things. I was cackling. Like, if nothing else, this book made me laugh a lot, but it wasn't like a good laugh. It was I can't fucking believe this shit laugh.
Yeah, again, I'm not going to disagree that this book is very poorly written and 100% on the surface. You're completely right about
I like his dad got killed looting a liquor store or something. But he knows that he's sorry. My mom once told me that my dad had given me an alliterative name, Wade Watts, because he thought it sounded like the secret identity of a superhero, like Peter Parker or Clark Kent. Knowing that made me think he must have been a pretty cool guy, despite how he died. And then also mentions that his mother worked in an online brothel immediately.
In a catastrophic gunting accident. Yeah. He went, look, he's not the first person who died gunting. You know what they say? Get eggs or die gunting.
The mother, his mom, who's also dead, was a filthy gunter. Sorry.
Thank you. I was hoping you were going to say it. Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt.
She was an escort. And then Wade now lives in the stacks with his aunt, who is introduced as follows within 3 pages. I was halfway through the 4th episode of my Family Ties mini marathon when the laundry room door creaked open and my Aunt Alice walked in, a malnourished harpy in a housecoat, clutching a basket of dirty clothes. She looked more lucid than usual, which was bad news. She was much easier to deal with when she was high. Great start. We love it. We've introduced 2 women, actually 3 maybe, if they've mentioned Kira by this point.
I don't think they have, but I don't remember.
One of them was a sex worker and got killed, and then his aunt is a harpy and gets killed with no consequence, and Kira, well, she got killed a long time ago, so it's no big deal. What else have you highlighted?
Well, she died because she loved the wrong man. I highlighted.
I don't know why that got me so good.
Isn't that how it feels though? Like she picked the wrong guy.
That's 100%
and then
what
like,
it is.
well, guess fuck you. You're dead now, bitch. It felt very punitive. I highlighted. I don't know if this is it's not the next thing, but I really hated the. Let's see, what's the setup for this? This is on page 16. It starts, I wish someone had just told me the truth right up front as soon as I was old enough to understand it. I wish someone had just said. Now begins a long quoted section, which really sucks, but includes the Ricky Gervais level line, that story you heard about how we were all created by a super powerful dude named God, who lives up in the sky. Total bullshit. Guess what? I'm an atheist. I was like, come on.
It's so r/atheist. It's kind of incredible. And it's so out of nowhere, too. It's like, you've done your shitty, ramshackle little exposition about this dystopia, which really hasn't established all that much other than you just telling us, like, literally a line in here is like, yeah, I didn't really like walking to school anyway, so I wouldn't be R-worded by a PDF file. That's a literal line.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no actual anchor to the world that they exist in. And so to go on this screed about how there's no God, like, we couldn't have done that any other way.
And he goes back to it. Those stories you heard about going to a wonderful place called heaven, where there's no more pain or death and you live forever in a state of perpetual happiness. Also total bullshit. And it's like, oh, and they said just like all that God stuff. Okay. I mean, it's real edgelord type shit. And what?
I want to jump straight to Wade goes to school on the planet. Is Ludus a reference to something, Brian?
Not that I know. I think it's just a Latin word. I don't understand it. No.
So the school planet, it costs money / credits to teleport off of the planet where you go to school. And for some reason, instead of just like, I don't know, logging on and you have a feed of the teacher while you're in your little headset. Beamer says it's just Latin for game. That's great, actually.
By the way, I see Beamer. I see you mentioned. I didn't call this out at the time. We are fellow Gen Xers. So any Gen X shit you want to call out, fucking do it.
So for some reason, we set up this whole thing where in virtual school, you don't just log on and watch a teacher do things like every other thing that's ever done. Like, here's virtual school. He goes to his locker. He spawns in at his locker, and he's got to walk down the hallway.
This leads me to something I did want to talk about, which is the entire virtual world here makes no sense from any perspective whatsoever. Did you catch the thing where he said to walk, you use like hand gestures?
When he's talking about walking, or like the really expensive rigs where it's like a treadmill that like walks. We had VR in 2010, Ernest Cline.
But I was like, hold on, if you walk using your hands, which it clearly just is like a throwaway sentence to explain how you can sit down and like walk through the thing, it makes no sense because you're also using your hands for other shit. So I understand. I would have preferred he just not explain.
The thing that got me was like,
instead to say something that feels like it can't possibly be true.
Like I ran at X miles per hour down this thing. It's like, okay, it's one thing when you're actually playing a video game and you're like running to go do a quest or whatever. When you describe it in a book, it is so unfathomably boring. Why do you keep coming back to describing the specific thing? And the whole like you can't. It feels like he had the story problem of like, well, why can't people just fast travel to the planet that they want to go to? Aha! They need to pay for it or travel in their spaceships, like in Firefly.
I'll take. They need to pay for it. Sure, okay, that's a fine thing. However, why would Halliday make it that way? It makes no. This is what I'm saying. Is like the whole world makes no sense whatsoever.
It sounds like there's the evil band of Sixers who are the competing corporation.
Sorry.
The Suxors.
Suxors? Oh, yes. Sorry, yes.
Who they're on this egg hunt as Gunters.
They're on this what?
Egg hunt.
Oh, God. Yes. Sorry.
They're a bunch of gunts doing some gunting.
Just gunting around the Oasis.
It is the most, like, straw man evil capitalism villain I've seen in a while. Like it's
dumb,
so incredibly stupid. I don't know why I brought that up, but it's stupid. But an important thing is Ernest Cline wants us to get to know Wade Watts as a character and like what really makes him tick and what makes him our protagonist and why he's someone that we'll be interested to read about. So for some reason, he's walking through the hallways of his virtual school, which he doesn't need to do. Hey, if it isn't Wade 3, I heard a voice shout. I turned and saw Todd 13, an obnoxious avatar I recognized from my Algebra 2 class. He was standing with several of his friends. Great outfit, Slick, he said. Where did you snag the sweet threads? My avatar was wearing a black t-shirt and blue jeans, one of the free default skins you could select when you created your account. Like his Cro-Magnon friends, Todd 13 wore an expensive designer skin, probably purchased in some off-world mall. Quote, "Your mom bought them for me," I retorted without breaking my stride. Tell her I said thanks.
Yeah, I noticed
Tell her
this
I
too.
said thanks.
Your mom.
The next time you
me.
stop at home to breastfeed and pick up your allowance. Childish, I know. But virtual or not, this was still high school. The more childish an insult, the more effective it was. My jab elicited laughter from a few of his friends and the other students standing nearby. And this is after a few more...
Hey, thank your mom for all the sex.
And there are a few more paragraphs explaining how you can mute people, which it's like, if this guy is a bully to you, why is he not already muted? But then this ends with, the entire planet of Ludus was a no PvP zone, meaning that no player versus player combat was permitted. Only real gamers know this. At the school, the only real weapons were words, so I'd become skilled at wielding them.
That's great. Oh, actually, I highlighted something from this as well on page 29. What was it? Scholarship or something, full-time, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he says, that was about as appealing as me rolling around in broken glass in my birthday suit. And I added the annotation, Family Guy. Because it feels like one of those bullshit Family Guy asides, right? That's about as appealing as me rolling around in broken glass in my birthday suit.
Yeah. Oh, I love that for you.
I highlighted Suxors.
We're looking at the same, but I think we just arrived at the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I want to address some typography, which really bugged me, which is the use of video game as one word throughout this entire book. Fucking hate it. And maybe it's just how people were using the word back then, although I really don't think so. I think it's just a choice, but it is unambiguously the wrong choice. A video game. You have to say it fast when it's one word like that. Like, why are we writing it like that?
For a book
Silly.
that's so in love with video games and knowing things about video games, for some reason, it is written like someone who has never played a video game in their life wrote it.
Yes, and also does not acknowledge the existence of any video games after 1989, maybe. Like there are these massive things which are vastly more interesting than any, fucking cabinet game from the 80s are. And yet it's as if these never happened.
No, Brian, it's about the calcification of the things that you liked as a child and never moving on from those things, because clearly they're superior to anything that would come after, even if the thing that you originally liked sucked and is bad.
Yeah.
All right. So as we've both arrived to this point, this is where we first hear about Deuteragonist ?
IROC.
Oh no, I skipped over
IROC.
Shit. Okay, sorry. We have to talk about.
Is IROC before this? Well, IROC might be after this. So you're talking about Artemis.
I'm talking about Artemis.
Is who you're going for.
So.
Yeah, as a woman, Leighton, tell me how much you're related to Artemis, the ultimate gamer girl.
Can you put me in Women's Corner, please?
Oh yes. Hold on. Okay. Put you in Women's Corner. Let's see. Did we do that? And here's
Thank you.
that.
Thank you.
Okay, there we go.
I needed that. After checking a few other Gunter forums, I tapped a bookmark icon for one of my favorite websites, Artie's Missives, the blog of a female Gunter. The blog of a real Gunt.
I believe for Gunter.
The blog of a female Gunter named Artthremis, parentheses, pronounced Artemis. Oh, I needed that clarification. Thanks. I discovered it about 3 years ago and had been a loyal reader ever since. She posted these great rambling essays about her search for Halliday's egg, which she called a, quote, maddening MacGuffin hunt. Hey guys, have you ever heard the word MacGuffin? I digress. She wrote with an endearing, intelligent voice, and her entries were filled with self-deprecating humor and witty, sardonic asides. In addition to posting her often hysterical...
Oh, wait, hold on. It's like a Gen Xer.
Oh my God. People being snarky and sarcastic on the internet? Holy shit. This girl's a real Gunt. All right. I got to get through this. In addition to posting her often hysterical interpretations of passages in the almanac, she also linked the books, movies, TV shows, and music she was currently studying as a part of her Halliday research. I assumed that all of these posts were filled with misdirection and misinformation, but they were still highly entertaining. It probably goes without saying that I had a massive cyber crush on Artemis.
I highlighted cyber crush on this.
It continues.
Yes.
She occasionally posted screenshots of her raven-haired avatar, and I sometimes, always, saved them to a folder on my hard drive. Her avatar had a pretty face, but it wasn't unnaturally perfect. In the Oasis, you got used to seeing freakishly beautiful faces on everyone, but Artemis's features didn't look as though they'd been selected from a beauty drop-down menu on some avatar creation template. Her face had the distinctive look of a real person's, as if her true features had been scanned in and mapped onto her avatar. Big hazel eyes, rounded cheekbones, a pointy chin, and a perpetual smirk. I found her unbearably attractive. Artemis's body was also somewhat unusual. In the Oasis, you usually saw one of two body shapes on female avatars: supermodel frame or the top-heavy wasp-waisted porn starlet physique, which looked even less natural in the Oasis than it did in the real world. And here's the kicker. But Artemis's frame was short and Rubenesque, all curves.
All curves.
All right, take me out of woman's corner. Nobody puts woman in it.
I can't actually. I can't. It
Nobody
won't let
puts
me.
woman in a corner.
said
I don't know if any of you got that reference.
There we go. Yes. Terrible. I completely
shit
agree.
Blows so hard. If Rubenesque. I also hate this thing where it's like, this also feels very 2010 nerd, that it's like a repudiation of anybody who's conventionally attractive, which is like fine. We've had certain beauty standards forever, but it is always like this association of like, if you're super hot, you're also a fucking idiot, and I'm better than you because I'm fat? Question mark?
For me, it feels very self-congratulatory for Ernest Cline to be like, guess what? She's not conventionally attractive. Yeah. But she's actually the hottest person in the room. So look how progressive I am with my beauty standards. Just like when, spoiler alert, H is revealed to be a black woman.
And a lesbian.
And a lesbian. It feels like there's a lot of like, guess what, Ernest Cline?
There's literally, he pulls the like, I don't see color almost directly, where it's like, I wouldn't care if she was black or red or green or purple
or blue or what.
Yeah,
it's like, it feels, I really don't like the sense of like that feeling like an accomplishment. Right.
Yeah. And
totally
the
agree.
reveal
totally
of like,
agree.
There's this whole runner about how Artemis is like really sensitive about her real life appearance, and that she feels like Wade isn't going to accept her if they meet in real life. And there's like a whole bunch of drama about this. And then the reveal is that like she has a port wine like birthmark on her face. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Yes. No, that's exactly
perfectly hot, except for that, which even though it's in the context of Wade being like, I think it made her even more beautiful. It's like just such a weird, like fetishy way to be like, this is the one not normal thing that is okay to be considered attractive. It's fine if the best friend who was coded as a straight white male, plot twist, it's a fat black lesbian. But then there are a million references in the book about like, oh, what if Artemis was like a fat guy in his mom's basement named Chuck?
Oh, yeah. He says
he does that like a dozen
obese
times.
several times. He says 300 pounds. He does that a lot.
So it's like, clearly you do not
those
actually feel accepting of whoever Artemis is as a personality, as you keep saying. Because
100%.
if you were,
absolutely,
you wouldn't be saying that. Instead, oh, she has the acceptable thing that's actually kind of cool and sexy. And like, she's stunned when he accepts her at the end for her horrible deformation that she dumps him over. Like, it's so fucking gross and annoying.
Yes.
Like, and I'm not even taking that as like a fucking moral stance, even though I could. It's just like, you lazy, transparent fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm kind of scrolling through here. We are over an hour.
Yeah, but what if
this
was 2 episodes?
Well,
what if we milked it for 2 episodes?
We could actually do that. I have something in chapter 6 that I really want to get to.
Brian, there is
Actually,
so
a few
much
things,
material here that you go straight up to it. We need to talk about IROC, which is a reference to
We do need
Lionel
to talk
Shriver's
about IROC
book. We need to talk about, Kevin, if anybody noticed.
Yep. Well, actually, it's funny you mention that, because I want to get here's something that really bugged me also. At one point, okay, I'm on page 61 now. This is in chapter 6. I devoured each of what Halliday referred to as the Holy Trilogies: Star Wars, original and prequel trilogies in that order, Lord of the Rings, The Matrix, Mad Max, Back to the Future, and Indiana Jones. Parenthetical. Halliday once said that he preferred to pretend the other Indiana Jones films from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull onward didn't exist. And so one of the, of course, as you go into the future, other things happen that he didn't know about. So the fact that he calls out this one thing, acknowledging that other stuff happened in the future, it feels incoherent to me, right? Because there are other Mad Max films, as we now know, right? He didn't know that. I hate that he like called this one thing out but didn't call the other ones out.
And also,
and I know there was no way he could have known, but it's
he expresses opinions about the properties that are mentioned in here, clearly defining them as this thing that rules or this thing that sucks. But it's never like an actual niche opinion. It's always the mainstream nerd opinion that nerds didn't shut up about for fucking ever. So it's the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, he survived a nuclear explosion by hiding in a fridge. Unlikely. That's fridge logic. That's actually the origin of the term fridge logic.
Well, I want to actually read the next paragraph, which I know you highlighted.
Oh yeah?
You didn't tell me this, but you definitely did. I also absorbed the complete filmographies of each of his favorite directors: Cameron, Gilliam, Jackson, Fincher, Kubrick, Lucas, Spielberg, Del Toro, Tarantino, and of course, Kevin Smith.
Yes, of course I highlighted that. It's fucking amazing.
I highlighted that and wrote a note. I wonder if you can see the note that is this going to come across? Here. Note, page 62. I just wrote, for those of you not watching this, like it, to mention, okay, these are good directors listed here.
Yeah.
And of course, Kevin's, what?
Yeah, but think about, the year is 2010.
No, but.
And you're a nerd with bad taste, and you're very excited to talk to other nerds on the internet about the shit that you really like. This is all like...
Sorry, are you talking about the book now, or you're just talking to me?
Both, honestly. That's the thing. It's like, if I think about my friend group when I was admittedly much younger than than you would have been at this time, when I was
13. You were 13.
Yeah, when I was in middle school, I was peak on this, like getting into the internet, finding a bunch of people who liked all the nerdy shit that I did, and then thinking we were like the coolest people ever because we knew all the words to the song at the end of Portal, and like then you go back and forth in a comment thread where you're like saying the lyrics at each other. That's exciting and fun when you're 13. And apparently Ernest Cline also. It's like, I see it. I see the things that are considered canon acceptable to like as a nerd. It's and not to be a fucking housecoat wearing harpy with a drug addict boyfriend who gets killed in a stack explosion, but notice how all those directors are only white men.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. For sure.
Which also I kind of don't care. In the context of this book, that's maybe like the least offensive part of it, but it's still just like, interesting.
Well, because he also has an out, right? Oh, it's Halliday's favorite directors, right? Which is a stupid out, but one would get the sense that if you call him out on that, that's what he would say.
This is once again,
but it's also very easy to not
a thing that bothers me about the discourse around Ready Player One. This is my typical issue. All the like reevaluating it 15 years later or whatever articles are like,
oh, I haven't read any of these. I
should. Well, so they're all like, Ready Player One is everything that's wrong with 2010 male gamer supremacy, and like Ready Player One just doesn't hit the same after Gamergate, and like all of them are coming at it from this like feminist lens, and God bless.
Mm-hmm.
God bless. However, can you shut the fuck up and just talk about all the other things about this that sucks? We don't have to make it a goddamn social movement that this book sucks bad. Like, you don't have to tie it into another big thing where we can make it like a moral crusade about how not liking Ready Player One makes you a good person. We don't have to do that with every single piece of media you don't like.
It's poorly written by any standard.
Yeah.
Not just from whatever. It's just a badly written book. It's very immature.
If you hate it as much as you claim to by going on a social justice crusade about it, then talk about the other reasons why it fucking sucks shit. Can you think of what would be more harmful to a guy who obliviously writes this and then gets criticism? Talk about why it sucks. Why am I getting so heated about this?
That reminds me of...
It's very hot in my apartment, and I'm going mildly insane.
No, I am with you. I'm in a well-air-conditioned garage.
Typical privileged male viewpoint.
That reminds me of a quote I love, which I've probably said on the show many times, which is a quote from Emo Phillips, which is, "Why be prejudiced against someone because of their race, gender, religion, sexual orientation, beliefs, etc., when there's so many real reasons to hate other people?"
Yes.
There are so many real reasons to dislike this book.
Yeah, and not to say that the discussion about the myriad ways in which it's whatever, the things that I'm claiming are like getting on a moral high horse. I'm just sick of that.
It's a valid point of view, of course.
The sole extent of discourse about anything. Anyway, I'd like to get back into reading a little passage from this. So H, who is Wade's secretly fat black lesbian best friend, but who presents as a cis white male, in the game universe, they're hanging out in H's basement, which is a chat room that we elaborately set up, and we need to explain what a chat room would look like in the virtual world.
By the way, I had a fake wood paneled 80s basement that I hung out and played video games in. Just in case anyone's
Whoa!
I'm a real Gen Xer.
You're a real Halliday fan. So they're hanging out in the chat room, and then this guy comes in, and his name is IROC. And
IROC.
But just then, a new arrival materialized on the staircase. A total lamer by the name of IROC. I let out a groan.
Lamezor.
IROC and H attended the same school and had a few classes together, but I still couldn't figure out why H had granted him access to the basement. IROC fancied himself an elite gunter, but he was nothing but an obnoxious poser. Sure, he did a lot of teleporting around the Oasis, completing quests and leveling up his avatar, but he didn't actually know anything. And he was always brandishing an oversized plasma rifle the size of a snowmobile, even in chat rooms where it was totally pointless. The guy had no sense of decorum. Oh shit, I lost my spot. Quote, "Are you cocks arguing about Star Wars again?" he said. Finally, the only cool character in this book.
That's my opening line for every conversation from now on.
"Are you cocks arguing about Star Wars again?" he said, descending the steps and walking over to join the crowd around us. That shit is so played out, yo. Once again, this is the only cool character in this book so far. I turned to H. "If you want to ban someone, why don't you start with this clown?" I hit reset on the Intellivision and started another game. "Shut your hole, Penisville," IROC replied.
I got to admit, I love Penisville. I
think we've
great.
Somehow not mentioned once that Parsible
really good.
Is Wade's avatar's name. Shut your hole, Penisville, IROC replied, using his favorite mispronunciation of my avatar's name. Oh my god, if he hadn't have said that, I wouldn't have realized that he was making fun of his name. He doesn't ban me because he knows I'm elite. Ain't that right, H? No, H said, rolling his eyes. That ain't right. You're about as elite as my great-grandmother, and she's dead. Ha! Screw you, H, and your dead grandma. Gee, IROC, I muttered. Bomb. You always manage to elevate the intelligence level of the conversation. The whole room just lights up the moment you arrive. And then this continues. Where's the bit about everybody clapped? And we had... Oh, sorry. Before this happens, Wade is talking to H, and here's the quote. A real low point in both of their careers, he said, laughing. He loved arguing about old movies, even more than I did. The other Gunters in the chat room were now starting to form a small crowd around us to listen in. Our arguments were often high in entertainment value. Which they're talking about Lady Hawk in War Games, which, excellent. Hold on, where's the part where everybody claps? Okay, they're arguing with IROC, and then Wade says, "That's right. I called you a poser, poser. I stood and got up in his grill. You're an ignorant, know-nothing twink."
Yeah, so the use of twink there, I was like, what?
You're an
Insane.
ignorant, know-nothing twink, which I'm incorporating into my vocabulary now. Just because you're 14th level, it doesn't make you a Gunter. You actually have to possess some knowledge. Word, H said, nodding his agreement. We bumped fists. More snickering from the crowd, now directed at IROC. Blah, 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 more arguing where Wade is showing how much cooler and smarter than he is. Then this guy, he like bests him by doing gamer facts. This goes on for so long. This is why I keep quoting.
Forever.
This scene takes so
Absolutely.
long. And the entire point of the scene is how cool Wade is.
You know what sentence I liked from this chapter? The 80s was a long decade, 10 whole years.
Ernest, why?
But the question is that supposed to be funny? I don't think so. It does not read as that's supposed to be funny.
There are things in this that are clearly supposed to be jokes that are the least funny thing. And then he says stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of
correct.
course, Kevin Smith, which joke?
That is not supposed to be a joke. That is not supposed to be a joke. I don't think. I think that was real.
I took it sort of as a joke, the fact that he was separate from the bunch.
Oh. Maybe I have such a low opinion of his writing that did not.
And I have such a low opinion of Kevin Smith that I assumed that it must be a joke, but
I like
Steve Bryan, our arguments
chapter,
have a lot of entertainment value. Everyone please clap.
Yeah, everyone clap. I burned through the entire They Might Be Giants discography in under 2 weeks. Devo took a little longer. Even in, let's say, 2010, They Might Be Giants have way more stuff than Devo. Devo didn't put out that many albums. Also, 2 weeks for an entire discography? You could listen to someone's entire discography in like a day. Right? 2 weeks? Burned through it? What are you fucking talking about? But here's part of the question, right? Are you just listening to the 80s stuff, right? Or do you like the band, right? So this is part of the incoherence of this whole conceit. Do you like They Might Be Giants because they started in the 80s, but they only have like 3 albums in the 80s, maybe 4? I think 3. So is it only those 3 albums you got to worry about, or is it like the entire discography of the band from then on?
It's also
I don't know.
Do you actually like any of this shit, or do you just like it because you're told to like it and it's part of your identity that you're supposed to like it, which is a deeper and more interesting question on this topic than Ernest Cline is exploring. He takes no care to, consider that.
Well, there's no contemporary pop culture in this world, right? Except that one fake sitcom from Iowa. Right. That's the only
and
modern
let me
pop
tell
culture
you,
that
the only
we hear about. And Artemis's
the only
blog.
part of this book that I liked was the little 1984 section where he became an indentured servant. That was the only time in the book I was like, okay, world building.
Although, how is he so good at that shit? He's like breaking into their code and hacking.
Because he's a hacker.
Is that one? I guess he can just do everything.
What was the name of the stupid deep web website that he was buying stuff from? It has a really dumb name, and I don't remember.
I can't remember now.
I'm not going to read this whole thing, but as the conclusion of this IROC scene, the crowd burst into applause. IROC lowered his head in shame. How do you write that and not immediately go, maybe I should pick another line of work?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is that? Yes, this is also from this chapter. How does the following limerick, scan? The copper key awaits explorers. in a tomb filled with horrors, but you have much to learn. Oh, but if you have much to... Okay, I think I finally get it, actually. The limerick, the central... Okay, anyway. But you have much to learn if you hope to earn a place among the high scorers. So, but a limerick general scansion is... Right? The copper key awaits explore... Right off the bat, it's not a limerick. But you have much to learn if you hope to earn a place among the high scorers. I guess that's how the end's supposed to go, but it's not a fucking limerick.
So don't call it a limerick.
The scansion is complete. The scansion is completely off, and I was like, and even if it's not off, you shouldn't have to think that hard about it, right?
It's
yes,
yeah. Here's another random highlight from chapter 4, parentheses. The three-dimensional map of...
Oh, you're in 4.
I'm
right.
just scrolling through it random. The three-dimensional map of all 27 sectors distinctly resembled an 80s puzzle toy called a Rubik's Cube. Like most Gunters, I knew this was no coincidence.
Again, who is this being written for? Because if you're living in a world where everybody is fucking obsessed with 80s pop culture, you would know this. Everybody would know this.
Also,
so
hold on, I need to back up.
You're either
real quick. We do live in the world where the world's obsessed with 80s fucking pop culture. We've been doing this shit for the past 20 years. We live in that world.
Yeah. It's also safe to assume that the most famous things from a given time period are still going to be common knowledge, right? So, okay. I think it's fair to assume people might not know what 2112 by Rush is. However, Rubik's Cube, come the fuck on. It's like one of the central things. You don't need to define it for people.
It is so insulting to the reader's intelligence because the writing style, the reading level is that of a fourth grader, and yet the references are shit only Gen Xers would care about. So...
Yes, everything about this book it screams, you're smart if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, if you can read the most basic prose that you've ever seen in your life.
But it's written for dumb people.
Yes.
Yes.
Here's another quote, which I only read because they bring up this point multiple times, which it's interesting if you'll notice the different phraseology that Cline brings up around certain characters multiple times. James Donovan Halliday was born on June 12th, 1972 in Middletown, Ohio. He was an only child. His father was an alcoholic machine operator, and his mother was a
Wait, which chapter?
I don't know. It's page 53.
Oh, wait, I highlighted the same thing.
Chapter 5.
I highlighted the same thing, yes.
His father was an alcoholic machine operator, and his mother was a bipolar waitress.
Mm-hmm.
He says the bipolar waitress thing twice. I didn't highlight the second time, I don't think, but... Interesting.
Yeah, I highlighted the same thing. Relevant how?
Oh, cool guy James Halliday. Halliday had many well-known obsessions. Chief among them were classic video games, sci-fi and fantasy novels, and movies of all genres. First of all, we're at page 55. Do you think we had not already picked up on that shit? That's all you talk about. That's the entire substance of this book. You don't need to list it again. He also had an extreme fixation on the 1980s. No way! The decade during which he'd been a teenager, Halliday seemed to expect everyone around him to share his obsessions, and he often lashed out at those who didn't. He was known to fire longtime employees for not recognizing an obscure line of movie dialogue he quoted, or if he discovered they weren't familiar with one of his favorite cartoons, comic books, or video games.
It's so plausible.
I fucking hate this guy. I hate this guy. Which
he sounds like a monster.
Which guy am I referring to?
Absolutely.
Wade, Halliday, Ernest Cline, all of them.
Yeah, well, they're all basically the same person.
Holy Trilogies. Oh, this is chapter 6, page 63. I watched a lot of YouTube videos of cute, geeky girls playing 80s cover tunes on ukuleles. Technically, this wasn't part of my research, but I had a serious, cute, geeky girls playing ukuleles fetish that I can neither explain nor defend.
The way, so we need to define what a Rubik's Cube is, but not YouTube.
And we never need to mention YouTube again.
That's right. Never even mentioned again. By the way, why even say fucking
Watch
YouTube? Just say videos. Videos. Easy enough.
That's just a straight up author confession there.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first like little task that he has to do is fighting a Lich King in jousting, whatever the fuck.
Yes.
Uh,
Oh, I liked when he said, also in chapter 6, I think, I felt like a hawk in flight, or the way I thought a shark must feel as it cruises the ocean floor.
so, oh my God, Ernest, excellent writing. We're gonna
A
move you
hawk.
up to language studies for fifth graders. You are so smart. Gold star. When the Lich is playing, the fireball in his hand vanished. He stretched out his leathery palm, which now held 2 shiny quarters. The games are on me, he said. He once again produced 2 quarters and dropped them into the joust machine. This one is for all the marbles, he said. Art thou ready?
Yeah, exactly. This Lich speaks completely incoherently, mixing the florid, kind of old school speak with the, you got next game, bro, kind of stuff. Yeah.
And then, of course, this ends after Wade beats him in jousting.
On his first try. On his first try. After a girl couldn't do it.
And she had been trying for 5 weeks. The chamber filled with the sound of a full orchestra. Triumphant horns were quickly joined by a stirring string section. I recognized the music. It was the last track from John Williams. It was the last track from John Williams' original Star Wars score, used in the scene where Princess Leia gives Luke and Han their medals. And once again, note the extremely popular nerd opinion that's about to be espoused here like it's some fucking nugget of wisdom. Parentheses, and Chewbacca, as you may recall, gets the shaft. We have to explain what a Rubik's Cube is. You need to be told 20 fucking times that dude's obsessed with the 80s. I need to mention YouTube once. And the piece of music is just the fucking music from the end of Star Wars. Remember that? It's the music from Star Wars. Okay, thanks, Ernest.
Yep.
Oh, and then once you see the... I'm sorry. I feel like I'm like reading fucking everything. I was so... I'm on one today. Then Artemis comes into the chamber, and this is when we find out that she's actually found it first, and she's been trying to beat the Lich at Joust for weeks. And she thinks that Wade also failed. Here's her introduction. She wore a suit of scaled gunmetal blue armor that looked more sci-fi than fantasy. Gunmetal, excuse me. Twin blaster pistols were slung low on her hips in quick-draw holsters, and there was a long, curved elvish sword and a scabbard across her back. She wore fingerless road warrior-style racing gloves and a pair of...
Can't think of that without hearing Boombox by Lonely Island. Everybody was wearing fingerless gloves.
And a pair of classic Ray-Ban shades, also. Overall, she seemed to be going for a sort of mid-'80s post-apocalyptic steampunk girl next door look. And it was working for me in a big way. In a word, hot.
Hot. Can I jump forward slightly?
Please.
Parzival, eh? She tilted her head slightly. Named after the Knight of the Round Table who found the Grail, right? Very cool. I nodded, now even more smitten. I almost always had to explain my name to people. And Artemis was the Greek goddess of the hunt, right? Why are we explaining this shit? Like, you don't know who Artemis... Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
This is awesome.
Whoa, all right, the next sentence. Right, but the normal spelling was already taken. So I had to use elite spelling with a number 3 in place of the E. Again, why are we explaining everything?
We already knew this from the moment that you introduced her as Artemis, pronounced Artemis. Mm-hmm. And then they're exchanging business cards.
Yep. Yes, they are.
Do you want to read what they say to each other about their business cards that ends in a certain proposal?
Yes. Let's see. Where do you want me to start?
This is awesome.
Yeah. This is awesome, she said. So she gets Parzival's card. This is awesome, she said, looking it over. What a wicked design. Thanks, I said, blushing under my visor. I wanted to propose marriage.
I think this is a pretty...
Well, also, you know what? I highlighted this not only because it's stupid, but also propose marriage. What's wrong with just propose? Like it's
Proposing sexual
ridiculously
congress. Oh, I found the second reference to the
someday I hope to be elected to
the first gun to the White House.
Yeah, that's right. The first Gunter president.
The never mind.
Gunter in chief.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go for.
Yeah.
I found the bipolar thing again.
Defender in chief.
There was no hint that the stoic man in
yes.
the brown leisure suit was an abusive alcoholic, that the smiling woman in the floral pantsuit was bipolar, or that the young boy in the faded asteroids t-shirt would one day create an entirely new universe. Venus says, let's see IROC's business card.
I need to take a quick
Quitter.
break, if you don't mind. Do you want to keep going and monologue?
I would love to monologue,
Or
actually.
could we take
Brian, I could easily keep going for a lot longer.
You don't say. Uh-huh.
I'm having a great time.
Yeah, so am I. See, we don't actually disagree about this book.
Don't.
I just had more
was
fun reading it.
worried when we were texting yesterday. I got concerned. But we could do a quick break and then come back and
Let's
okay.
do that. So we are going to go to a break here, and then we will be right back. All right?
Okay.
So don't touch that button.
Oh, that's just like what they used to say. All right. Fucking goddamn it.
Just like what they used to say. All right, we'll be back.
What's up? Are you cocks talking about Star Wars again?
It's better without what's up.
It is.
Cox talking about Star Wars again.
It's the funniest line in the whole book.
It's absolutely.
Okay.
Go off, Queen.
Thank you. Oh my god. Let's see.
Once again, I am an ally.
Oh my god. So true. So chapter 14 is where recapping Wade and H and Artemis have all gotten through the first gate and they have their keys and they're trying to figure things out. Meanwhile, the Suxors over at IOI are sending their army to try to get through the gates and cheat. And so the CEO, Nolan Sorrento of IOI, comes to Wade with a proposal. And he brings them to their evil headquarters where they're cheating. And they sit in a boardroom. And the Sorrento is like trying to bribe him to be like, work for us and you'll get, millions of dollars and we'll help you. You'll have all of our resources, blah, blah, blah. And then Wade's like a really cool guy and says, actually, I held up a hand, cutting him off again. I've spent the last few seconds thinking this over a bit more, and I'm going to have to pass on your offer. I think I'd rather find the egg on my own, thanks. I stood up. You and all the other Suxors can all go fuck a duck.
Oh, yeah, fuck a duck.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
I really, to be fair, I love the phrase fuck a duck as an insult. Go fuck a duck. Awesome.
It's so badass. And even the book calls out how badass it is. Sorrento began to laugh, a long, hearty laugh that I found more than a little disturbing. Oh, you're good. That was so good. You really had us going there, kid. When his laughter tapered off, he said, that's the answer I was expecting. So now let me give you our second proposal. And this is like more money. And Wade says no again. And so this is the most. Then Sorrento is like, all right,
you shall betray me 3 times.
I have a third offer. Your first instinct right now might be to log out. Oh, right. He says that he's going to blow him up, that they're going to kill him if he doesn't join them. Your first instinct right now might be to log out and make a run for it, Sorrento said. I urge you not to make that mistake. Your trailer is currently wired with a large quantity of high explosives. He pulled something that looked like a remote control out of his pocket and held it up. And my finger is on the detonator. If you log out of this chat link session, you will die within a few seconds. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, Mr. Watts? So that brings me to our final proposal. Sorrento rubbed his hands together excitedly, like a kid about to open a present. Tell us how to reach the first gate right now, or we will kill you right now.
Or we will kill you.
And then he keeps villain monologuing. No, Wade, I'm not. Think about it. With everything else that's going on in the world, do you think anyone will care about an explosion in some ghetto trash rat warren in Oklahoma City? They'll assume it was a drug lab accident, or maybe a domestic terrorist cell trying to build a homemade bomb. Either way, it will just mean there are a few hundred less human cockroaches out there collecting food vouchers and using up precious oxygen. No one will care, and the authorities won't even blink. That's a nice villain that you wrote, Ernest Cline. Very subtle. Really just excellent characterization. Great work. He's going to call people cockroaches. That's
very human is what I would say about Nolan
yes.
Seems like a real
and then,
guy.
of course, Wade takes a stand. Sorrento, I said, trying to hide the fear in my voice. I want you and your bosses to know something. You're never going to find Halliday's egg. You know why? Because he was smarter than all of you put together. It doesn't matter how much money you have or who you try to blackmail. You're going
right.
to lose.
Which is why Halliday was so smart that he allowed for the very real possibility that the richest people in the world would find his treasure first and take over the, his darling oasis. Can we talk, by the way, about how Wade's initials spell wow?
I didn't make that connection. What a devious clue. So he's like,
yeah, it's like,
you're
oh
bluffing. Bye-bye. Also worth noting that Wade is not in the trailer.
I really like that. Bye-bye. We're going to GIF that because it was a very, very good image.
Thanks. I'm just
good
running with the 80s school bully.
Yeah, very, very Gen X.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So Wade's like, you're bluffing. And Sorrento doesn't know that Wade's actually in a van like a mile away in his little gamer hole. And so he comes out of it and he's like, oh boy, that was a crazy bluff. I was pulling my gloves back on when I heard the explosion. I felt the shockwave a split second after I heard the detonation and instinctively dropped to the floor of my hideout with my arms wrapped over my head. In the distance, I could hear the sound of rending metal as several trailer stacks began to collapse, ripping free of their scaffolding and crashing against one another like massive dominoes. Remember dominoes? These horrific sounds continued for what seemed...
You mean that popular toy from the 80s?
These horrific sounds continued for what seemed like a very long time. Then it was silent again. And so this little fucker runs back to where he lives to confirm that hundreds of people have just been killed in a strike meant to kill him. He shows almost no emotional reaction.
He's got things to do.
The extent of it is
hundreds of people have died.
Eventually, the shock began to wear off, and the reality of what had just happened started to sink in, which... Ernest, that's a great way to transition between plot points in your story. Really good job. My Aunt Alice and her boyfriend Rick were dead, along with everyone who had lived in our trailer, and in the trailers below and around it, including sweet old Mrs. Gilmore.
And above? Also above, right?
Including sweet old Mrs. Gilmore.
Can we just say, the idea of fucking stacking trailers is the dumbest thing of all time.
Let me finish the quote.
We just blew by that. Okay, fine.
Including sweet old Mrs. Gilmore. And if I had been at home, I would be dead now too. Well, fuck all these other people. I could have died, but I didn't. So everything's fine. I'm going to log back on. Oh, Christ.
Yep. Can we skip to the zero gravity dance sequence? Or do you have anything... before that, where a 75-year-old man DJs in a wizard costume.
And it's the coolest thing ever.
And it's the coolest thing you've ever seen, including the line, I wasn't much for dancing or for socializing with the twinked out wannabe Gunter Uber dorks. Here we are with the fucking twink thing. What are you talking about?
It's really interesting, the words that you use to describe people that you don't like. Bipolar, twinks.
But I don't think he's using twink the way... I don't know what he thinks that word means. Twinked out? What does that mean? I don't know what it means.
I don't think that word means what you think it means. Another sick reference.
Oh, Leighton, you did it. You out-referenced who references the reference.
Oh, that's another reference! So in the... In the
reference.
interim, Wade is famous because he's at the top of the high score lists for being the coolest gamer around.
He is described as a god.
Yes. People clap for him. My new status is a world famous gunter.
An uber gunter, even.
Let me try that again with a straight face. My new status as a world-famous gunter gave me all kinds of underworld credibility, which helped me get access to a highly exclusive illegal data auction site known as the Elite Hacksaws Wares House. And for a shockingly small amount of money, I was able to purchase a series of access procedures and passwords for the USCR database. And so he fakes an identity. He's a new guy now. Rich says, got me fiending for Twink Gunt. Oh, God.
That's very funny, Rich.
Talk about your or actually that I have this like all this shit that's highlighted that it's him, Wade and Artemis, like I'm gonna put flirting in heavy air quotes, which for Wade is, are we going to have an online romance? Cross his fingers.
Oh my God. He is such a fucking creepo with this girl. Like, he is not letting it drop. And his, like, the hitting on her or the flirting or whatever that he's doing fucking
wait, okay.
sucks.
Actually, can you...
It's so
Can you
bad
get to...
and off-putting.
Because I want to read their chat logs and I want you to be Parzival and I want to be Artemis. And there's a certain section. It's on page 170.
Please. But I think the thing I want to... Oh, yeah, okay. The thing I want to read is
I know,
after
that's
that.
why. I know my chronology of this book.
Okay. I tried to... Hold on. Okay, here we are. Yes, we're not reading this whole thing.
No, there's just a segment. The first part is the Parzival saying that's because most gunters are male.
Let's see. How far in? Yeah, here we are.
So
okay, yes. And you want me to be Parzival with
So everybody, this is the charming romance between our two leads. And this is after like 3 pages of him hitting on her and it's not going great.
Badly. Yeah. That's because this is a text exchange, by the way. They're like basically.
Actually, here, I'll start with the Artemis line. At least they got your gender correct. Everyone thinks I'm a man in real life.
That's because most gunters are male, and they can't accept the idea that a woman has beaten and or outsmarted them.
Neanderthals.
So you're telling me definitively that you are a female? IRL?
You should have already figured that one out on your own, Clouseau.
I did.
Have you?
Yes. After analyzing the available data, I've concluded that you must be a female.
Why must I?
Because I don't want to find out that I've got a crush on some 300-pound dude named Chuck who lives in his mother's basement in suburban Detroit.
Once again, it's very interesting what Ernest Cline picks as negative attributes. You've got a crush on me?
Yeah. You should have already figured that out on your own.
It's like that thing that she just said to him. We could keep going, but we're not going to. But it's more arguing about how Artemis is like, no, you can never see me in real life. You wouldn't like me in real life because I'm disgusting.
Yeah.
Hippie Hobbity says, wow, that really twinks my gun. Also, this conversation keeps fucking going.
Goes on forever. Also, he says the word female so much that it makes him seem like it's some MRA shit, right? Yeah, there it is. It's real. It goes on forever. And by the way, this is the only time in this book when this type of exchange happens, right? There's no other text exchange in the book that's like, it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. He mentions the obese man named Chuck again.
Oh, what if she was named Charlene and was an obese?
Yeah. A quote-unquote sex change operation is referenced later in this.
It's great.
chapter.
He does that a couple of times very sensitively.
Yes, he does. Absolutely.
Here's another highlight right after this. Before long, we were meeting in private chat room sessions at least once a day. We played vintage board games, watched movies, and listened to music. We talked for hours. Long, rambling conversations about everything under the sun. Spending time with her was intoxicating. We seemed to have everything in common. We shared the same interests. We were driven by the same goal. She got all of my jokes. She made me laugh. She made me think. She changed the way I saw the world. I'd never had such a powerful, immediate connection with another human being before, not even with H. Lots to unpack here. I'm glad that it's all about how she is exactly like you and likes all of the lame shit that you like. Awesome. I wonder why that is. I love when the basis
perhaps?
of attraction is just girl like stuff that you like. And that she's intoxicating, and the things that are good about her and about your relationship aren't you describing things about her that she's done, traits that she had, just that she gets your jokes.
Thanks, Chuck Foster.
Thanks, Vice President Will Wheaton.
Vice President and Secretary of the Internet, Cory Doctorow.
No, he's president. Cory Doctorow is the president. Also, fun fact. Do you know who narrates the audiobook of this book?
I saw it. It's Will Wheaton.
Incredible. All right. Yeah. So please talk about the 3D lava lamp mermaid dance party.
Well, actually, okay. There wasn't too much to say about, I mean, what else was I going to say about this? I just highlight that one phrase. There was everything about it sucks. There's a big incursion by the Suxors, and here's a good passage. Artemis, so they're having a giant 0G dance party. Again, DJ by an old man in a wizard costume playing 80s songs. Artemis winked at me, and then her legs melted together to form a mermaid's tail. She flapped her new tail fin once and shot ahead of me, her body undulating and thrusting, in time with the machine gun beat as she swam through the air. Just grossly sexual.
Barely disguised fetish.
Well, and because this leads me to what is definitely the worst part of the book, which is the masturbation section.
Oh, there's...
Chapter 19.
The Suxors invade the dance party. Og, the old man who loves dance remixes of 80s songs, kills all of them. But as this is happening, like the Suxors invade right as Wade tells Artemis that he loves her, and she's like, "Bro, you literally don't know me. I gotta go." And he cries, and then the Suxors come in. I want to read his entrance to this party because I think this passage is so emblematic of like everything wrong with this book. Shawnee Boy 97 says, "Isn't the whole book the masturbation section?" Yes, but this is page 182. I made a big entrance when I arrived in my flying DeLorean. I have to go straight for fourth grade boy voice. When I arrived in my flying DeLorean, which I'd obtained by completing a Back to the Future quest on the planet Zemeckis.
Get it? Wait, Layton, I don't think you know. Robert Zemeckis directed Back to the Future. That's a reference to. I wouldn't expect a woman to know that.
You wouldn't expect a female to know this. We need to change women's corner to female's corner.
Yeah. Female.
The
female section.
The DeLorean came outfitted with a non-functioning flux capacitor, but I'd made several additions to its equipment and appearance. First, I'd installed an artificially intelligent onboard computer named Kit, purchased in an online auction, into the dashboard, along with a matching red Knight Rider scanner just above the DeLorean's grille. Then I'd outfitted the car with an oscillation overthruster, a device that allowed it to travel through solid matter.
What's that a reference to, Layton?
That is actually a good question. What is it a reference to?
That is the device from The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai that allows the Buckaroo Banzai jet car to travel through solid matter via the eighth dimension.
Sick. Finally, to complete my 80s super vehicle theme, I'd slapped a Ghostbusters logo on each of the DeLorean's gull-wing doors, then added personalized plates that read Ecto 88. I'd only had it a few weeks now, but my time-traveling, ghost-busting, night-riding, matter-penetrating DeLorean had already become my avatar's trademark. This is the best episode we've ever done.
Yeah. Ecto 88. See, you probably don't get it. Little known
reference.
But Ecto 1, you went out of focus. Yeah, do that. Ecto 1 was the original Ghostbusters license plate, and 88 is because of 88 miles per hour in Back to the Future.
What?
She didn't get it so hard she turned off
Fuck
the
is
camera.
happening?
What is going
I'm being
on?
silenced in Oasis. The Sixers have come and gotten me.
Do you want to turn that off and turn it back on? Would that help? Oh. And device is not there. We go. And back. Yeah, better.
Oh, in my HD extremely sweaty glory. Oh, Christ alive. Oh, wait, sorry. We missed an important line when he's telling Artemis that he loves her before the Sexers come in.
Yeah.
Don't say that. I was starting to cry and didn't bother hiding it from her. Is this because I told you I've never had a real girlfriend and that I'm a virgin?
Yeah. Yes, I highlighted that as well. Yeah.
The Sexers come in, and then Og does his badass magic and drops the crazy hardcore line, "You jerks think you can crash my birthday party?"
You cocks. Missed opportunity to say cocks.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Okay. We've arrived.
Hell yeah.
We've arrived.
Hell
we've ridden
yeah.
the
Oh,
Ghostbuster
baby.
DeLorean straight all the way to the best part of the book.
To the nadir of the book.
And I need you to read this one, please.
All right. Where should I start? Is it just
also, wait, we need mild
diary entry?
Mild exposition. Well, it should be... hold on. Wade, there was an attempted murder on him that killed a bunch of people, but it doesn't matter.
That's this episode of the podcast.
He decides that he's going to move to Columbus so he can like uplink directly into Oasis, whatever, because that's where the servers are. He gets
electricity, blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets an apartment that there's nothing in it except for his high-tech gamer rig, and he gets like food delivered. And if you go to a pizza joint in the Oasis, you can order food, and it will send the food order to a local vendor, and it will come straight to your doorstep.
I know, it's crazy.
So he's living the single bachelor life. He talks about how like he was gaining weight, and so he made it where he can't log on until he exercises, and he really learns the value of exercising, which just felt so like Ernest Cline, so put your diary away.
Yeah.
Where it's
I can't write any more of my book until I exercise, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I would say the build-up. I think the build-up in regards to the anatomically correct... in regards to the anatomically correct haptic doll, I think is important prelude to this. I don't know if you want to read it, but... oh, God.
I was going to start, I think, with you could also purchase.
Yes, I think that's a perfect place to start.
You could also purchase an ACHD, anatomically correct haptic doll, if you wanted to have more intimate encounters inside the Oasis. ACHDs came in male, female, and dual sex models. Okay. And were available with a wide array of options. Like, why even come down? Anyway, why not just say male, female, and more, right? Anyway. Realistic latex skin, servomotor-driven endoskeletons, simulated musculature, very creepy, and all of the attendant appendages and orifices one would imagine. Driven by loneliness, curiosity, and raging teen hormones, I'd purchased a mid-range ACHD, the Shaptic Uber Betty, a few weeks after Artemis stopped speaking to me. After spending several highly unproductive days inside a standalone brothel simulation called the Pleasure Dome, I'd gotten rid of the doll out of a combination of shame and self-preservation. I'd wasted thousands of credits, missed a whole week of work, and was on the verge of completely abandoning my quest for the egg when I confronted the grim realization that virtual sex, no matter how realistic, was really nothing but glorified, computer-assisted masturbation. At the end of the day, I was still a virgin, all alone in a dark room, humping a lubed-up robot. Sorry, did you want me to start reading the book? Or yeah.
Now,
so
everyone,
I got rid of...
This isn't even the bad part. We have now arrived at the bad part.
We're getting to the bad part. So I got rid of the ACHD and went back to spanking the monkey the old-fashioned way. I felt no shame about masturbating. Thanks to Anorak's Almanac, I now thought of it as a normal bodily function, as necessary and natural as sleeping or eating. Diary entry. AA 24187. AA is Anorak's Almanac, by the way.
I like that it's formatted like a psalm.
Yep. To quote, I would argue that masturbation is the human animal's most important adaptation. By the way, other animals do this too. I should know because I have lots of videos of them. The very cornerstone of our technological civilization. Our hands evolved to grip tools, all right, including our own. You see, thinkers, inventors, and scientists are usually geeks, and geeks have a harder time getting laid than anyone. Without the built-in sexual release valve provided by masturbation, it's doubtful that early humans would have ever mastered the secrets of fire or discovered the wheel. And you can bet Galileo, Newton, and Einstein never would have made their discoveries if they hadn't been first able to clear their heads by slapping the salami or, quote, knocking a few protons off the old hydrogen atom, unquote. The same goes for Marie Curie. Before she discovered radium, you can be certain she first discovered the little man in the canoe. End of entry. Now,
it wasn't one
only...
of It wasn't one of Halliday's more popular theories, but I liked it.
Yeah, I fucking wonder why. I want to say something right away. First of all, beside the fact that this is terrible and creepy and awful, hydrogen atoms have one proton. That's the whole fucking thing about hydrogen. One proton, one electron. Knocking a few protons off the old hydrogen atom. Also, you don't knock protons out. You would knock electrons off of it if you knocked anything off of it. But it's just like this is the kind of shit that pissed me off about angels and demons. A fundamental factual error that is easily checked. Pick a different atom. Lots of atoms. You know how many atoms have more than one proton? All of them except hydrogen. Literally any other element he would have picked has more than one proton. Also, again, it's not protons. Fucking dumb. Why? Like the fact that you could do this and not think for a second, oh wait, hydrogen, that's the first one. That's the one that's got one proton. What the fuck are you doing? Makes me really mad.
Geeks have a harder time getting laid than anyone.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself, Ernest. Bro.
Insanity.
I wonder why nobody is lining up to have sex with you when you were writing about the clit as the little man in the canoe. This whole section.
The dumbest clit cliche of all time, right? So overplayed.
Yeah, I'm shocked that he didn't get some bean flicking in there.
Oh, yes. Same. Yeah.
When you think about within the narrative, what is the purpose of this passage? Like, why are we luxuriating on this? Artemis rejected him after he was like, I'm in love with you, also a virgin. And she ghosts him. He's sad and alone in his new apartment. So obviously, in Ernest's mind, the forefront thought of my girlfriend has dumped me is like, I need a high-tech way to jerk off. That's fine. But we keep going. Like, he needs to prove that he's better than using a sex toy. All right.
That's right. There's a good reason for it. Right.
Yeah. That he is enlightened for jerking it acoustic. So... Right. Now, when else in the book do we get an excerpt directly from Halliday's diary other than this ode to masturbation?
In the chapter heading pages, right?
Yeah,
in the section heading pages. There's always a quote, but that's
reality is overrated.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah. This feels, if anything, feels like because women were subservient to men back in the caveman days. That's why, blah, blah, that kind of shit. That's how this reads to me, is like alpha bullshit.
Yes. And it's also
terrible.
Doing the including the little man in the canoe where he's like, I'm being fair. Girls can also
jerk
masturbate.
It too.
Schlicking. Yeah. I can't believe he didn't use schlicking. I feel like that was the go-to one.
You know what? I've never heard schlicking before.
Really? Schlicking is like the analog to fapping. Yeah. In terms of internet parlance, that's the one.
I have totally missed this. Okay, this is good.
I can't believe have known that
for my jaw. I know.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, schlicking. Great. Well, this schlicking sucks.
This does schlicking suck.
What's up with this twinked out schlicking Gunter? Whose comment did I rip off for that? Who said it before?
I think everyone's been riffing some great shit in the chat this whole time. Right. He doesn't bother to take time to vote in the real world. I did take the time to vote in the Oasis elections, however, because their outcomes actually affected me.
There we go.
The voting process only took me a few minutes because I was already familiar with all of the major issues GSS had put on the ballot. It was also time to elect the president and VP of the Oasis User Council, but that was a no-brainer. Like most Gunters, I voted to re-elect Cory Doctorow and Will Wheaton again. You just said re-elect. You don't have to say again. There were no term limits, and those two
Well, they might have been re-elected several times, right?
There were no term limits, and those two geezers had been doing a kick-ass job of protecting user rights for over a decade.
To me, that screams he wants to get on the good side of these people he likes.
And it clearly worked.
And it clearly worked.
One of them narrated the audiobook. So there's like a new thing where anybody in Oasis can start their own TV channel. That's just a Twitch stream that prove by showing stuff that like shows how cool you are by like old anime or whatever.
Yeah.
And it describes that like one of the things that Artemis has been doing recently, she'd also launched her own wildly successful clothing line for full-figured female avatars under the label Artemis.
Miss. Yes.
She was doing really well for herself. Which full-figured female avatars. Like H is off fighting in an arena. That's the cool thing he's doing. Artemis has started big and tall. Fucking
yeah. Can we?
Husky ladies.
About to say?
Husky gamer ladies. And I'm going to continue because Wade pulls some real romantic shit here. After the night in the distracted globe, Artemis had cut off all contact with me. She blocked all of my emails, phone calls, and chat requests. She also stopped making posts to her blog. I tried everything I could think of to reach her. I sent her avatar flowers. I made multiple trips to her avatar's
stronghold. This is cool guy behavior, everybody. Yeah.
Multiple trips to her avatar's stronghold, an armored palace on Benatar, the small moon she owned. I dropped mixtapes and notes on her palace from the air like lovesick bombs. Once, in a supreme act of desperation, I stood outside her palace gates for 2 solid hours with the boombox over my head, blasting In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel at full volume.
I mean, look, Layton, you know this better than I do. When you tell someone, don't contact me again, what you really mean is, I want you to work for it for a little while.
Yeah. It's also like to say anything where this is the 80s thing. You're just going to do the most obvious thing possible.
I know. It's always, yes, that's right.
You couldn't have picked the moon called Benatar.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the 2 Japanese characters in this book,
yeah,
who are depicted so non-stereotypically,
sensitively,
and are nothing, and have full-fledged characters outside of their Japanese, and that's it, and they care about honor and Ultraman.
But at least they recognize the superior whiteness of Parsifal and how great he is at everything, right? No, please, you go ahead.
No, you please take the Ultraman capsule. And then one of them gets killed, and then the other one is like, no, I must have my revenge.
Yeah. Yep.
And Wade pulls the like Hattori Hanzo sword shit on him, like, please take this. You earned it.
You are an honorable man, or whatever the shit says. Yes.
And he's like, thank you, Parsifal-san.
Yes.
Cline, hey, Ernest, what the fuck are we doing, dude? Did anybody else read this? Were they afraid to touch it because it had cum all over it? I'm serious. Editors were like, I could crack this in half. I'm just going to say, great job.
At one point, we should do the thing you told me you wanted to do, because I do have a family I need to get back to.
No, talking about this is more important. What the fuck?
Whenever
we record this show, I'm always like, all right, let's keep it quick. Today, of all days, I am generous with my time and my energy, of which I have a boundless amount.
Yeah.
Are we milking 2 episodes out of this?
Well, speaking of milking, I can read that passage again.
No.
About finding the little milkman in the milk truck.
Say truck again.
What are we? Oh, I like this. This is chapter 25. I'm jumping ahead here.
Yeah, go for it.
This is actually
wait.
Yeah, he's talking to Shoto. And at some point he goes, "We're Gunters," I said, trying to fill the awkward silence. "We live here in the oasis. For us, this is the only reality that has any meaning." Pretty fucking cool, right?
Pretty dope.
Pretty dope. That's about to be fully undercut by the end of the book, but whatever.
Wade's spacecraft is named the Vonnegut.
This pissed me off because it's that, again, it's like the lowest form of like smart, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Vonnegut, yeah. Oh, deep, right? Did you know that's a reference to a novelist?
Yeah, and he doesn't make any
novels.
Other references to Vonnegut shit. Like he mentions him a couple of
none.
times by name. Because all of the interests here are so incestuous. This is the thing that kills me about the mainstreaming of nerd culture. It is this set pool of shit that we've decided is acceptably cool
That's
and nerdy.
Right. 100%.
And it's all anime and video games. And then people who make those things only play video games and only watch anime and then make shit that is so anime brained, so video game brained. Fucking read a book. Anyway. And of course,
yes,
the Vonnegut was a heavily modified Firefly class transport vessel modeled after the Serenity in the classic Firefly TV series. The ship had been named the Kaylee when I'd first obtained it, but I'd immediately rechristened it after one of my favorite 20th century novelists.
First of all, calling it the Kaylee is like, come on, dude. What are we doing?
At least he picked another character who loves to jerk off.
Right, yes.
Yeah, I watched Firefly. So did everybody else, Ernest. So did everybody else. Everybody wanted the fucking hat. Who cares? It's a show.
Unpopular opinion, Firefly was a good show. Aw. It shouldn't have been canceled.
Serenity.
That's good too. I like that face.
Does anybody think the character who's totally coded as a child and has swords is like mega sexy, actually? Let's not analyze that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is a build up to Shoto's vessel was a large interplanetary trawler named the Kurosawa.
Now, Layden, hold on. You might not have picked up on this reference, but Kurosawa is a famous film director from Japan. I know.
Oh, that's so smart. My little female brain could have never come up with that.
That's why I'm explaining it to you.
And the Kurosawa modeled after a ship called the Bebop in the classic anime series Cowboy Bebop. I know that I very frequently will call something like a classic as I'm saying the title and the date afterwards. I'm under no illusions that doing that is cool. I do it because it's stupid and silly and it makes me laugh. This book straight ahead unironically does it like it is the coolest shit ever.
That's right. Yeah.
DS Rockstar just says stop, kill me. Yeah.
I feel like we should read Ready Player 2.
I also think that we should read it.
Because, by the way, no one likes that book. It is widely considered to be... even people I know who love Ready Player One say all the other Ernest Cline stuff is bad.
James Halliday had taken guitar lessons for a few years in high school. That was what had first inspired me to learn to play. I'd never held an actual guitar, but on a virtual axe, I could totally shred.
Yeah, like, okay, that means you just said shred, right? In the Oasis, fucking dumb.
He's going into indentured servitude as part of his master plan to hack IOI, and he says, "A dude
which
ahead of
page-ish are you on?
Page 277."
Okay, great.
A dude, and he's talking about how like anybody who has implants are getting them taken out as they're entering indentured servitude. Yeah. A dude just ahead of me in line actually had a top-of-the-line miniature Sinatra Oasis console concealed inside a prosthetic testicle. Talk about balls.
I highlighted this as well. Yes,
Ernest, that's not a joke. That is not a joke.
But that's supposed to be, definitely. Yeah.
Talk about balls. Yeah,
yep.
We are talking about balls because you just said that it was in his testicle, and that's not a joke, Ernest. You didn't write a joke. You just said, like, balls.
Several
you know
references.
What? The only line that I actually thought was funny in the entire book, and this is a dubious honor, is his new indentured servitude job is that he's like tech support, and when he swears at customers because he's frustrated and really cool, it filters it out. And so this guy comes to him and he has a sword and he doesn't understand why he can't wield the sword, and obviously he's a noob who isn't high enough level and doesn't have a high enough strength stat to wield it.
You're talking about Hot Cock 007.
Yes.
Yeah.
How could I forget that the character's name is Hot Cock 007? God damn it, he shouted, and this is shouted by Hot Cock 007. Well, what am I supposed to do with it now? Then Wade turns to the camera and says, you could shove it up your ass and pretend you're a corn dog. That one was like, okay, Ernest, the rest of the book has been so completely devoid of humor. You can have that one.
That one did not work for me, even on that level. Nope, I'm not giving him that one.
Okay, fair enough. And then he's this super mega ultra cool hacker and does that thing where it's like, and actually several days before that I didn't tell you about, I had done XYZ that set me up for success.
Did you also catch all the Brazil references in this chapter?
I don't think I caught all of them, but enough to be like, okay.
Or a bunch of them. Yeah. There's a bunch of them. Yeah. Where you're like, oh, but he's not calling it out. So,
that's cute.
Sam Lowry, Tuttle. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, this is just, we're doing 1984 and other stuff in that vein, buddy. Is the only part of the book that I like because something is happening in the real world. Also, this line that is totally meant to be fucking serious. They're getting to another gate and they've figured out that they can solve it by working together with the power of friendship, but also knowing the lyrics to Schoolhouse Rock.
Yes. And they got there through a 2112 sequence, right? Where he plays 2112 and it's like he goes to the Temple of Syrinx or whatever the fuck it is. Again, this is the kind of thing most people reading this, do they know 2112 or not? I mean, like, Rush is popular, but it's niche popular. I don't know for your reader of this book on average if they are aware of what that is or not. Same question with Zork. Like, do people know Zork? I know Zork because I'm that fucking age and guy. But same thing with 2112. Do people know it who are reading this book? I don't know.
I mean, me as a Gen Z who, like most nerdy teenagers, had a big fat Rush phase, I am in the know, which makes me cool. Anyway, dilettantes, Artemis said. It's their own fault for not knowing all the Schoolhouse Rock lyrics by heart. How did those fools even get this far?
And also, by the way, hold on. I'm going to try something here. I might be way off base on this. What are the words? Faith, hope, and charity?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Let me just Google those right now. Is anything going to come up here? Okay, I was curious. No. I was going to guess that if we Googled something about Schoolhouse Rock would maybe show up. Like, how hard is it to search this shit?
Yeah,
it's
these
the
fuckers
future.
Ever heard of Google?
Yeah, exactly.
YouTube exists.
And also, you've got 1 billion people working for you, including Leet Gunters. They don't immediately pick up on this shit? Dumb. Of course they would.
The Og, the cool wizard who had a dance party and said, "You jerks aren't crashing my birthday party," because that's clearly not a manifestation of some juvenile fantasy of his.
I liked that character as a guy when he shows up later in the book. Yeah,
he's one of the only likable people.
That's right. Yes.
So H comes to pick up Wade in real life. So they meet in real life for the first time. And Wade gets into H's RV. A heavy-set African-American girl sat in the RV's driver's seat, clutching the wheel tightly and staring straight ahead. Can I just apologize up front for this?
Yes, you should.
She was about my age, with short, kinky hair and chocolate-colored skin that appeared iridescent in the soft glow of the dashboard indicators. I'm so humiliated reading that out loud. She was wearing a vintage Rush 2112 concert t-shirt, and the numbers were warped around her large bosom.
I didn't check this. Do you think Ernest Cline might be white?
Oh, actually, please Google his name, because I've never seen a person done so dirty by the automatic photo that comes up.
Oof. Oh no. The one with the expression where he's like, "Ew." That is a bad picture.
He looks like that picture of Miley Cyrus when she's really, really stoned and her eyes are super
that
red.
Poor guy. I mean, he's a perfectly fine looking person, but that is a terrible picture of him.
Yeah.
Oof.
So the way that he introduces H is like, if you were writing a guide of like how to not introduce characters of color, good checklist. Very good.
Yep.
This is also the second book that we've read in this series of episodes where there's a big to-do made about an overweight black woman in a van.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Shanita Macri.
Uh-huh. Yes, indeed.
And also, he has a moment of feeling betrayed by H when he finds out that it's...
Yeah. How does... Okay.
Oh, wait, sorry. I got to the as we continued to talk, going through the motions of getting to know each other, I realized that we already did know each other as well as any two people could. We'd known each other for years in the most intimate way possible. We'd connected on a purely mental level. I understood her, trusted her, and loved her as a dear friend. None of that had changed or could be changed by anything as inconsequential as her gender or skin color or sexual orientation. Did I mention that she's a lesbian? It's dropped very clumsily that she's a lesbian, and she was kicked out by her mom for being a lesbian.
Yeah, that's why they can talk about the female form together.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Oh, and so they get to Ogg's mansion, and Wade is like, "Hey, why'd you stop talking to Halliday?" And he does like a real Dumbledore-esque, like, wink, wink, do you really believe that? Tells him about how actually Halliday really wanted to bang his wife, who's dead. Quote, "Even after Kira and I got engaged, I think Jim
he coded her a billion times. Right.
We already talked about the sex dolls, bro.
Yeah. That's right. I think there was definitely, this was happening.
I think Jim still harbored some fantasy of stealing her away from me, but once we got married, he abandoned that notion. He told me he'd stop speaking to me because of the overwhelming jealousy he felt. Kira was the only woman he ever loved." Morrow's voice caught in his throat. I can understand why Jim felt that way. Kira was very special. It was impossible not to fall in love with her. He smiled at me. "You know what it's like to meet someone like that, don't you?"
Yep.
And then we've arrived at the climax of the book where it's all members of the Oasis coming to face off against the Suxers. And I think you could probably cut out the, 50 pages of this climax and just put a YouTube link to Neil Cicierega's Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, because that's exactly what this fucking thing is. And also that song fucks. And I wanted to take a clip of the like really iconic riff from it and add it to StreamYard. Yeah, so I could just pop it on. I had more fun rewatching the shitty Flash animation of my youth listening to that song last night than I did reading it. They're all fighting, and there's Voltrons, and they're all chanting Parzival's name.
Yep.
On
and then
cue,
everybody dies.
On cue, the 10-6er avatars standing behind Sorrento pulled out their toy robots and activated them, too. 5 of them had the huge robotic lions that could form Voltron. The other 5 had giant mechs from Robotech and Neon Genesis Evangelion. Reading Neon Genesis Evangelion, I threw my phone down and went outside.
Yeah.
So yes,
you get the sense that he had like a list of things and he was kind of crossing stuff off as he got to it. Right.
Yeah. As the 3 of us stepped forward, preparing to enter the gate, I heard an ear-splitting boom. It sounded like the entire universe was cracking in half. And then we all died. Ernest, it's at this moment that you could win me back. Nope, never mind. So he comes back because he got the quarter and everyone's watching him and cheering him on. And then he goes through the gate and realizes that he has to reenact all of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which he does. Quote, "Reenacting the film wasn't just easy. It was a total blast."
He was having a great time being the best in the world.
Then he plays a game and he wins, and then he comes out of the simulator. He gets billions of dollars, and he gets like no clip.
Which he promised to split with everybody, of course, because he's the best.
No clip God mode, whatever. And then he goes outside and Ogg's like, Artemis is waiting for you in the garden. And he comes up upon her in the garden.
With a little canoe in his hands.
I'm tired, Brian.
Yeah. Well,
she
okay.
hold on.
Okay.
She looked just as she had in the photo I'd seen. She had the same Rubenesque body, the same pale, freckled skin, the same hazel eyes.
Right,
yes, yeah. The same hazel eyes and raven hair, the same beautiful round face with the same reddish birthmark. But unlike in that photo, she wasn't trying to hide the birthmark with a sweep of her hair. She had her hair brushed back so I could see it. And then, this isn't continuous, but a line he actually says, "Listen," I said, "we can take things as slow as you like. I'm a really nice guy once you get to know me, I swear."
Is that I feel like it's a quote from something specific. I don't know.
The Gen Xer doesn't understand the Ready Player One reference. I don't know either. And then there's a stupid thing about how he's holding her hand at the end.
I'm going to look that up. I'm a really nice...
That's Ready Player One.
This guy once you get to know me. Is that from something? Let's see. Nope. Not that I can tell.
Just his own dumb brain.
Yeah. Now, whenever we finish one of these travesties, I always look at the front of the books, which have blurbs about what an amazing book you're about to read. And it's insanity. Like, is this people just trying to get their quote in the book? Is it people with bad taste? Is it people who don't know good writing? Is it people who just like hear the references and they're like, "Oh yeah, fuck yeah, yeah"? I don't get it, but they're like well-known authors and stuff here. And
who's going on the shit list, Brian?
Uncut geekdom.
Oh my god,
Scalzi, he mentions Scalzi as one of his favorite sci-fi authors. There's a blurb from Scalzi here. Actually, this quote is terrible. "Imagine that Dungeons and Dragons at an 80s video arcade made hot, sweet love, and their child was raised in Azeroth. If you're not already experiencing a nerdgasm at the thought, I don't want to know you." Yeah. A nerdgasm.
It was a different time, I want to say, because I was like that in the year 2010, but also I was 13. So what's your excuse?
Yeah, I was, in 2010, I was 35. So, there we fucking go. Now, Leighton, you have a very special thing prepared for us today. You do. In
the spirit of the way that you conduct bits on this show, part of me doesn't...
Sorry, what are you talking about?
The way that you conduct your comedy experiences on this show.
Oh, yes. My extended comedic interludes, yes.
I, after finishing this book last night, took it upon myself to write a loving homage to Ready Player One, but instead of all of the cool stuff that Halliday and Ernest Cline like, I replaced it with stuff that I like and I'm nostalgic for. The problem is that I wrote this and I wrote like 2,700 words of it. And
you told me 2,000. You did not add the 700, which rounds up to 3,000.
Oh, sorry. It's 2,300. I was getting it confused with another thing. Folks, do you want to listen to this? I don't know how long.
We do.
I don't know how long this is going to take.
We want to listen to this. Just do it.
Can you center stage me?
Oh, yes. Here. Let's see.
Don't
I don't
put
want to remove
in
myself entirely.
No, you don't have to. Just put yourself in the woman's corner.
How do I do that, though? Actually, I don't know how to do that.
Let me...
What does this do? Nope, that's exactly what I didn't want to do. Which is very funny, actually.
And his name is John
I actually don't know how to put...
Attention, mesothelioma victims.
Hold on.
Shafting women once again.
I wish.
Ernest Cline wishes.
I don't know how to switch the orders here. Sorry. I think we're just going to have to go with this because I can't figure it out.
It's fine.
I don't know this
Okay.
platform well enough. This. Nope. That's worse. Oh, nope. All right. Just go for it.
God damn it. I thought that I was
See,
really
that's
going to
what I
get you
mean.
by doing that.
I don't know how to do it. Yeah, you control the thing too.
Oh, fuck.
See, that's... you're doing what I did. It's not working.
What's poppin'?
Okay, you know what, actually, I kind of want to...
No, it's better if they can see you read it. There.
All right, fine. This is called Press Any Button by Leighton Gray. Part 1. And just like Ernest Cline, I'd like to start with a quote. Do you want to date my avatar? She's a star, and she's hotter than reality by far. Felicia Day, 2009. After I had easily dispatched all of the big, ugly monsters that had descended on my avatar the moment I teleported to the planet Cyberpunkia, I took a deep breath and enjoyed the view. Dozens of replicas of CD Projekt Red's Night City sparkled on the horizon in the distance. With the high-tech upgrades I had made to my full-body gaming rig, the interior fans made the sweat I had accumulated from 16 hours straight of gaming in the simulation feel exactly like a cool sea breeze. My digital assistant took the form of Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk 2077, and he had all of the serious tood he did in the original game. But he was also programmed to do extra helpful tasks like answering my fan mail for me, laughing at all my jokes, and showering me with compliments on my curvaceous physique and gamer knowledge. I had him turned off for the time being because I couldn't let his digitally enhanced dump truck ass and constant sexual overtures distract me from the quest I was on. It was the only quest that mattered. The hunt for the ruby amulet, created by the designer of Mirage herself, Schmaten Frey. Frey was the world's sexiest and richest and most famous game developer, and I was her most diehard fan. Everything she liked, I did too, which made me very cool and really good at solving the clues she had hidden all throughout the simulation before she died tragically young by choking on a strawberry Uncrustable that she tried to eat in one bite. Her will stipulated that the first gamer to prove themselves pure of heart and fat of ass by solving her series of devious clues that only the smartest gamers would understand would inherit her lavish fortune. I had dedicated my previous 5 years solely to molding my taste in media to hers, obsessively deep diving into the media properties she loved instead of developing her own personality. It was a pretty neat way to get around developing one of my own. And it turns out people like me way better when I just parrot phrases they also know at them, like when a dog sees another dog on TV. Because she grew up in the early 2000s, all popular culture was dedicated to endlessly regurgitating all of the stuff that made the naughty oddies so great, like low-rise jeans and war crimes. Returning to the game, I pulled out my lovingly crafted 3D version of the original Pip-Boy 2000s from Fallout 1 and 2, the most aesthetically pleasing Pip-Boy design in the Fallout series, Natch, which I had designated as my primary interface with Mirage. From the tiny screen on my wrist, I could pull up not only the in-game radio stations from each entry in the series, along with all the modded ones, but also every song and podcast ever recorded to jam to as I adventured across the land. Of course, my main playlist consisted of Radiohead's entire discography, and I knew each and every lyric by heart. I had listened to Creep alone over 450,000 times. This was a big reason why most of the avatars on Mirage wanted to have sex with me. I mean, my avatar. This is still going. We're not even... I stood on the bow of my tricked-out ship, which I named the Stugats as a cheeky tip of the hat to one of Frey's favorite shows, The Sopranos. It was a treacherous journey to the mainland, but I had cast a magic spell on my ship that protected it from any harm and also made it fly and shoot lasers. With a flip of her long purple hair, my avatar entered her idle animation. Hips stuck out as she lit a huge cyberweed blunt coolly and blew smoke rings into the air. I watched from the rotating third-person vanity cam as I busied myself in my HUD, shuffling through my many new, unread messages from other players, because by this point, I was super popular and everyone liked me. No longer was I some level 1 nobody who couldn't even take out bokoblins by myself. A bokoblin is a kind of opponent, or enemy, as a gamer would call them, in the little-known Legend of Zelda video games. Just as a testament to the gaming knowledge that made me soar to the top of the charts in Mirage, I can tell you how only true gamers like me knew that the main character of the classic games is not, in fact, named Zelda. It was a really embarrassing when people got that wrong. A super easy way to find the noobs in the crowd, who everyone in the immediate area would murder instantly with their big awesome anime swords while the stupid noobs screamed for mercy. That was just a regular day for me in Mirage, which stands for the multiplayer immersive rage-fueled gaming experience. The rage part was a clever nod to the season's video gamers, one word, tendency to rage quit when emotions ran too high and commit violence against the console or PC on which they game, typically after being pwned. Me, I'd never rage quit in my life. Sure, I can get really upset at a game I'm playing, like when Alistair rejected me in the instant classic Dragon Age Origins 2009, just because I was playing as a Dalish elf and thus was punished for the aforementioned origin I chose at the beginning of the game, and then foolishly didn't choose a single dialogue choice in the middle of my campaign that would have saved me from this fate. You can imagine my frustration. Did the mechanical grinding our characters engaged in during low-poly tent sex I prayed my parents wouldn't walk in on mean nothing to him? For a virgin like me, that was the closest I had ever gotten to feeling the touch of another human, and I only cried for a few hours. But still, I didn't quit. I might have gone on a very long, soul-searching walk after I was dumped by the most likable straight white man in gaming, and may or may not have punched a hole in the wall, but I didn't quit. That's for noobs, not a hardcore gamer girl like me. I trolled all the forums dedicated to Frey's interests and the hunt for the ruby amulet, and was a moderator on several of them. So naturally, I was revered as a god on the interwebs. My knowledge of the sacred text could fill multiple encyclopedias, and I had, in fact, written several that were published. And not like self-publishing on Mirages on either. Like actually for real published on paper. I got straight A's in school, and also had a photographic memory that really came in handy on my adventures. But it didn't hurt that I was really smart, too, and clever. As I said, I got straight A's in school. Usually when I came up with a particularly witty retort during arguments, people would actually stand up and clap as whoever tried to challenge my prodigious knowledge of David Lynch's oeuvre slunk away with their tails between their legs. Oftentimes literally, because for some reason Mirage had a lot of furries. Those furries and regular people all over the world were obsessed with the quest for the legendary ruby amulet. The dedicated people chasing after this prize needed a way to distinguish themselves, so they came up with the pithy nickname Rubbers. The people in the so-called real world who looked down on our enthusiasm used a nasty epithet for us instead, rubes. But if any of these posers stepped into the world of Mirage and tried to start shit, they would have their asses swiftly handed to them by an army of gamers ready to gun them down with their coolest, most badassest guns, of which I have many. IMHO. Gamer lingo you wouldn't understand. The real rubes were the ones who refused to engage in life's ultimate pleasure, sitting inside while you watch anime girls with fat asses running around hitting each other with swords. Also, God isn't real. So yes, it was tough being a part of the most oppressed class in our very real dystopia. But to true gamers like us, being a rubber was a badge of honor and way better than being a noob or a normie. Hanging out in Mirage with other rubbers was one of the few things that made my dull, boring, dangerous life outside of Mirage bearable, where at any second I could be attacked by drug-addled murderers. It was a blast just getting together in pitch-perfect Y2K replicas of Claire's and Hot Topics with like-minded gamers to watch movies, play Nintendogs for the Nintendo DS, open a million tabs of TV tropes, or argue about the riddles in the sacred texts. We even had an awesome code name for what we did together. Rubbing one out. It's pretty cool that we were the first ones to ever come up with that phrase, and we used it as a secret passcode to identify each other IRL. This is more lingo only real gamers will get. One moment, I need to...
Yeah, get drunk, okay?
I am perfectly sober, Brian.
Mm-hmm. I'm the most sober person here.
My ringtone for incoming calls in Mirage was a MIDI file of Justin Timberlake's Cry Me a River 2002. The exact same one Frey's mom had on her silver Razor flip phone when she was a kid in the early 2000s. The one proper decade where nothing bad ever happened and every piece of media that came out was solid gold because it came out when Frey was a kid, like Justin Timberlake's Cry Me a River. The sound file overlapped with itself infinitely as my auto screener filtered out the hundreds of potential suitors trying to video call me, all of whom were ruinously obsessed with my avatar. Some of them had custom shirts and everything. And who could blame them? I was at the top of the high score list, which made me better than the rest of the lowly rubbers who couldn't even get past Frey's first portal, which had been child's play for me, like the movie, which I also knew by heart. My avatar was everywhere since I had signed endorsement deals with all of the hottest companies that gamers love, like Cheetos and Raytheon. This also meant I was a millionaire because people saw me in ads everywhere, so they all knew who I was, and I was recognized and given high fives constantly. This gave me plenty of disposable income to spend on as much revealing armor and flying cars and awesome swords and Mirage as I wanted. My avatar was quickly taking the virtual world by storm. Did I mention that she's a wood elf who is also a vampire with glowing pink eyes, cybernetic enhancements, and just like an absolutely huge fucking rack? This is important to the story. In the real world, I was just a girl living in the attic of a family of 5, siphoning off of their network and also any food they left out in their trash can. I gaslit them into thinking the weird noises they sometimes heard from the attic was just a nest of rats. And boy, was I surprised when one day I found myself breathing in pesticides they were pumping into the attic with industrial fans. Breaking Bad reference. Mm-hmm. I think I only got some mild brain damage from that. And I also only got some mild brain damage from that. I didn't have to worry about it too much because shortly afterwards, the home I was living in was hit by a targeted drone strike sent by people who were jealous of my gaming skills that killed the entire family. It's a good thing I was actually 2 miles away. Casually toning out with some Built to Spill songs, like the really proggy live versions, in Guitar Center, where all the old guys were complimenting me on my sick bass riffs and asking me how I got so good when I only started playing like 2 months ago. I'm just a natural, I guess. R.I.P. to the Smiths and their dog, though. To die by your side, indeed, right? Haha, that's just one of my little obscure references. Anyway. Mirage was super cool, and I spent all of my free time in it, trying to find the elusive ruby amulet that would make me the most powerful gamer in the world. But there was another competing tech conglomerate with their eyes on the ruby prize, Enhanced Virtual Interactive Life, or EVIL for short. Pronounced like Dr. Evil from the Austin Powers movies, Goldmember being the pinnacle of early 2000s comedy, of course. Their CEO was a scary and ugly-looking man in a pinstripe suit and Italian mafioso hat and big cigar, like characters in David Chase's hit HBO drama The Sopranos, starring James Gandolfini, Michael Imperioli, Edie Falco, Jamie Lynn Sigler, the smoking hot Lorraine Bracco, and Steven Van Zandt. Tony Sirico, Steve Sharippa, Vincent Pastore, Drea De Matteo, Robert Eiler, Steve Buscemi, and Lin-Manuel Miranda for 2 seconds, which I've watched front to back nearly 69 times. The evil CEO's name was Mr. Max Cruelty, and he was trying to kill me because I was too good at gaming in the Mirage. Max Cruelty wanted to find the ruby amulet for himself, so he could take control of Mirage and turn it into a liberal hellscape, where the only media you were allowed to consume was the Twilight books or movies, which are yucky and for girls. Not me, though, since I'm different. The end.
Wow. That was incredible. That might be the best thing we've ever done on this show.
Thank you.
That was really good.
I've got to read all of the chat reactions. I was fucking cracking myself up writing that last night. It was incredible.
That's very funny.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, what's there to say?
Reality is overrated. Just like this book.
See you next time, everyone.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us on a live stream. We'll do these again. If there's any other books you want to see us read.
And if you missed the Patreon live stream, you can always go to patreon.com/lateandnight.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And listen to two cocks talk about Star Wars.
Yeah. Bye, cocks.
Bye.